residence that they say is one of the most expensive private residence in Manhattan. You know how you count it. You know how you count the property. You know
That's
what?
for the leche.
A lot of weird things. And a lot of people have been saying things about this guy for a long time. We're going to talk about it today. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. So watch this. There seems to be a pattern that this guy Epstein was untouchable. Remember back in the days of
Untouchable.
It sounds like this guy was untouchable. Why was he untouchable? Why did a lot of people say you can't touch him? Here's Alex Acosta. He was a U.S. attorney who proved the deal, reportedly told Epstein's transition team the following. I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and leave it alone. Don't bother this topic. This is a July 2019 article from the Daily Beast. Lydia Cindy McCain, John McCain's wife, January 2020, she said at a conference, Epstein was hiding in plain sight. We all knew about him. We all knew what he was doing, but we had no legal aspect that would go after him. They were afraid of him for whatever reason. They were afraid of him. That's her. Julie K. Brown, investigative report for Miami Herald. There were all these powerful people who knew, and they looked the other way. Here's another one for you. Vicky Ward, journalist who profiled Epstein for a battery affair. My editors removed damning quotes from young women who were victimized by Epstein. Everyone knew he was dangerous. Why? Why are they so afraid of this guy? Why can't they talk about this guy? Anyways, so this guy dies. When he does, net worth roughly $600 million. $77 million was the Manhattan mansion that we're talking about, the most expensive private residence in Manhattan. $63 million was the island, the Little St. James. $18 to $25 million was the Zorro Ranch home, we're talking about 8,000 acres in New Mexico. $12 to $50 million Palm Beach Estate. Paris apartment, $8 to $10 million. Aircraft, roughly $10 million with the helicopter. Art cash, jewelry investments, $300 million.
So
this guy was $577. How the hell did you make that kind of money? What did he do? So if you go look at it.
So look at
He doesn't have family?
Dies. When he does, net worth roughly $600 million.
so look at
$77 million was a Manhattan mansion that we're talking
all
about.
stuff
Most
costs.
expensive private residence in Manhattan. $63 million was the island, the Little St. James. $18 to $25 million was the Zorro Ranch home, we're talking about 8,000 acres in New Mexico. 12 to $50 million Palm Beach Estate
Plus.
to Manhattan. $63 million was the island, the Little St. James. 18 to $25 million was the Zorro Ranch home, we're talking about 8,000 acres in New Mexico. 12 to $50 million Palm Beach Estate. Paris apartment, 8 to $10 million. Aircraft, roughly $10 million with the helicopter. Art cash, jewelry investments, $300 million. This guy was $577. How did he make that kind of money? What did he do? So if you go look at his background and his past, you'll notice this guy was born in Brooklyn at 53 to working class Jewish parents. Father worked at New York City Parks. Epstein attended Lafayette High School, skipped 2 grades, and then attended Cooper Union, and then NYU, but never graduated from NYU. At 14, he attended the Lala Center for arts on a music scholarship. Epstein later on used this affiliation to recruit girls into his trafficking work, allegedly that you read about. And even built his own lodge there. Then in 1974, he began teaching math and physics at Dalton and Wheaton Manhattan Prep School. He was hired by $77 million was a Manhattan mansion that was talking about the most expensive private residence in Manhattan. $63 million was the island, the Little St. James. 18 to $25 million was the Zorro Ranch home, we're talking about 8,000 acres in New Mexico. 12 to $50 million Palm Beach Estate, Manhattan. $63 million was the island, the Little St. James. 18 to $25 million was the Zorro Ranch home, we're talking about 8,000 acres in New Mexico. 12 to $50 million Palm Beach Estate. Paris apartment, 8 to $10 million. Aircraft, roughly $10 million with the helicopter. Hard cash, jewelry investments, $300 million. This guy was $577. How the hell did you make that kind of money? What did he do? So if you go look at his background and his past, you'll notice this guy was born in Brooklyn at 53.
Do you know his job was? Do you know his job?
I don't.
School teacher. Do school teachers
There's
make
no such.
$600 million?
No, can't even reach 1 million. Can't even reach 1
He built
million.
his own lodge.
Where did you get that? Almost half a
This guy was
million.
$577. How the hell did you make that kind of money? What did he do?
Yeah, that's
So if you go look at his background and his past, you'll notice this guy was born in Brooklyn at 53 to working class Jewish parents. Father worked at New York City Parks. Epstein attended Lafayette High School, skipped 2 grades, and then attended Cooper Union, and then NYU but never graduated from NYU. At 14, he attended the elite interlocal
Hello, Ate
center
Rose.
for an
Kamusta
arts
po?
and music scholarship. Epstein later on used this affiliation to recruit girls into
Good afternoon, Ate
trafficking that you read about. And he was
Hello,
looking for
hello
a lodge
po.
there. Then in 1974,
Who is Jesus
he
Christ
began
to you? Of
teaching
course, Jesus
math and
Christ is
physics
my
at Dalton
Savior.
and elite Manhattan prep school. He was hired by Donald Barr, who was Bill Barr's father. By the way, Bill Barr's father wrote something very interesting. He wrote a book called Space Relations, a scientific fiction novel in 1973 set in a future where humans have formed an intergalactic empire ruled by aristocrats, where they rule over and engage in coercive acts with enslaved individuals, including teenagers, in a breeding clinic. A little weird.
Rachel, hello, good morning.
My dad wrote this book about, you know what I'm saying? A book about
Nihintay, sabi ko
enslaving
magluluto ka muna. Ano ka
individuals
muna?
and engaging in coercive
Sabi
acts.
ko, luto ka muna ay.
Teenagers and breeding clinic. Okay, no, that.
May message ko siya. How do you,
When you go to put, what does Bill Barr have to do with us? We'll come back.
Great, how
So
are
later on, he goes to
you?
Bear Stearns, starts working there, enters into the
How are
financial
you
network
guys?
76 to 81. So at the time, he starts working with Alan Greenberg at Bear Stearns, becomes a partner in 1980 due to his skill in tax law and
Okay, so
insider
we'll be
trading
preparing
and mysterious
food
exit. In
salad.
1981, he all of a sudden resigns. Suspicious circumstances during an SEC investigation into insider trading linked to Seagram attempt takeover of St. Joe Minerals, an operation involving the
How are you
Bronco
doing,
family. He
Rachel?
was never charged, but was
The
interviewed
word.
by the SEC,
Yes,
which was
we need
skeptical of his
in our
analysis.
life.
Then,
Whatever
according to
happens,
Stephen
don't
Hoffman,
forget.
and other sources,
Always be
Epstein worked
grateful.
closely with British arms dealers at Sir Douglas Lease and Saudi arms trafficker Adnan Khashoggi. This operation tied to Iran-Contra-era funneled Chinese war-clone weapons to Iran. Epstein allegedly learned money laundering and arms trading during this period, working with Stephen Hoffman. Then after that, on the subjects, Epstein was introduced to Israeli intelligence circles by Robert Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell's father. According to ex-Mossad operative Ari Ben Menashe, he was approved by higher-ups in Israeli military intelligence and began participating in Israeli arms deals. So this next one, I had a very interesting mentor here that even when I interviewed his brother, Mark Epstein brought his name up, Stephen Hoffenberg. The Hoffenberg era in the financial fraud from 87 to 93, Epstein partnered with Hoffenberg in a massive Ponzi
I
scheme
can see
via
you are
Tower Financial.
yes.
Though Hoffenberg went to prison,
Yes, you are.
Epstein escaped prosecution.
Hello, hello,
Hoffenberg
guys.
later claimed that Epstein was the mastermind and the key figure in a long-term story. Nothing happened. So fast forward.
This is ready
Now he gets
to,
linked up with this guy named Wes.
This is ready to,
Earlier I talked about how he ended up getting the most expensive private residence in Manhattan.
today?
You're about to find out how this happens. So he goes and starts working
This
with
is
Wes,
the
and he becomes his
book.
protege. Epstein gained enormous influence as financial manager for Wesley Wexner, billionaire founder of L Brands, which Victoria's Secret's one of them. Epstein helped Wexner
Okay, we
partner
have
in real
book
estate
for
projects
fruit
with links
salad,
to
and
shadowy entities. Wexner, allegedly, this billionaire, ends up firing his entire financial team and handed Epstein enormous power over his stewardship. You know what kind of power? Power returned. What? To Epstein? Yeah. So power attorney is he can make decisions on this billionaire's behalf? Yes. Why?
Hindi ko gagamitin po kasi,
I don't know.
gagamitin ko rin sa ano.
It's kind of weird. And what did Wexner do at the end? And well, Wexner ended up bringing the most expensive private residence to him as a gift. Yeah. Gift? Yeah. A $77 million gift? Yeah. Why? Was this a son? That's a son, right? No relation. What? No. Why would he do that? He was questioned later. They said it was an economic arrangement. A 20,000 square foot penthouse is an economic arrangement? Yes. And what did he put on the balance sheet that he paid him? Zero. It's a gift.
Yan o.
Then you have how other things comes up. Mar-a-Lago, he's there, one of the workers there, Virginia Giffray, who was recruited by Ghislaine Maxwell, who's a Mar-a-Lago spa attendant. And then there's connections there. And later on, when Trump finds out what happens with Epstein, Virginia Giffray goes with them. Later on, when Trump finds out what happened with Epstein, October of 2007, he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago, can't come back. So that's that relationship that's taking place. So then we have Bill Clinton. And when it comes up to Bill Clinton, Bill Clinton autopsy flew with Epstein 26 times. 17 times Epstein visited the White House. Multiple times he went with Epstein to his private residence and to his island. On many occasions, Secret Service wasn't with him. Little weird when you have that kind of connections. Epstein was reporting multiple reasons for the Clinton Foundation and their financier ties to including shared donors like Lex Wexner. And then you got Chris Anthony, we've seen pictures all over the place with young Virginia Joffrey that's over there. And, when he was going through what he was going through, the British intelligence played a role in protecting the royal family from full scandal. And his connections to the elite power players made him a liability, but also useful leverage for intelligence operations tied to Epstein's blackmail. The evidence continues with more names. Gates, wife, gets a divorce from him and says, I don't like the fact that it was too close to Epstein. And when they're asking Gates like, yeah, she was probably right. I should have spent time, but he spent time with him after the 2008 conviction, despite claiming otherwise. Meetings were documented on 2011 and 2013, often in Epstein's Manhattan mansion. What do you do after? At least if it's free, you're going even after, like, you can go on afterwards and say, I'm going to meet with Epstein. Wife leaves him publicly. She says, I don't feel comfortable with the relationship. It's a little bit too public. And these stories can continue going with the way it's used with other people. We've heard names with MBS and others. There's been pictures with Musk and Ghislaine. But again, Musk could be simply at a party that's hanging out with other billionaires that they're there. Musk himself called the idea absurd and radioactive, stating Epstein never advised me on anything, because Epstein apparently, described himself as an advisor during an intense period that they're negotiating certain things. They don't like that. Leon Black, this one's a little weird with Epstein, co-founder of Hola, then became top executive at BlackRock after 2006 and 2019. Senator Ron Wyden released a letter detailing Black's financial relationship with Epstein. Ready for this one? Remember how that one guy, Lex Wexner, gave him $77 million, most expensive private residence in Manhattan? Ready for this one, dude? Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017 for consulting services, and paid an additional $20 million explicitly for a trust transaction that saved him $600 million in future tax liabilities. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he did. They were weird to pay $158 over a 5-year period. And it continues. Different visits. Former Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel between 2013 and 2017, frequent visits. Again, Barack visited Epstein home in New York about 30 times between 2013 and 2017. 30 times. Maybe they're talking income, maybe they're talking investments, maybe they're talking taxes, maybe they're talking most recent trade Yankees he's not happy about. I don't know, maybe they're talking why the Knicks haven't won a championship since 72. Could be a lot of different things they're talking about. In one normal trip in 2014, Brock flew with Epstein from Palm Beach to Tampa on Epstein's private island. What did they do? They're talking business speculation. That many visits? Somebody may say, well, he's Jewish. So once you come wealthy, you're eventually going to be tied to whatever national. Okay, I'm Armenian, I'm tied to a lot. I'm a Syrian. Yes, that kind of makes sense.
How are you this morning?
At this level,
Great. It's
maybe
raining
it
here.
is. It's a little bit, it's a little suspect. You have to put it out there. Here's a former Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben-Menashe, has made several striking claims about Epstein's role as intelligence asset primarily for his social Mossad. Here's a small little assessment that he made. His assertion. Ready? Number one. Epstein and Maxwell were part of Mossad run operations. He told investigative journalist Zev Shaleh that he was introduced to Epstein and John Maxwell in the mid-80s by Robin Maxwell. And he had deep dives in Israeli intelligence. According to them, Epstein and Maxwell were already working with Israeli intelligence at the time. That's in the mid-80s. Then honey trap operations come from a collection. He described Epstein's sex trafficking enterprise as deliberate honey trap operation offering sexual encounters and underage girls to powerful individuals as a means to gather, capitalize on material, allegedly use them to blackmail them on behalf of herself. And in part of Maxwell's circle of their connections, Ben also claimed that network included Maxwell, Daily Mirror editor Nick Davies, and himself, including that Epstein and Maxwell were integrated into continuing Mossad-linked operations stemming from Iran-Contra arms and espionage dealings. This guy's an intelligence officer. He just recently had a guy, John, cheer up on the podcast. He was the first CIA officer to come out and speak against the president for waterboarding. Went to jail for 23 months. This CIA officer, whistleblower. So, do you trust it? It's up to you. This is coming from a guy that's on the inside. I give you stuff like this. Now, the pushback denials. Naftali Bennett, former Israeli prime minister, has categorically denied these claims. He stated with 100% certainty that Epstein never worked for Mossad and that the speculation to the contrary is categorically and totally false. Do you believe him? Maybe. I had the former Mossad director of Mossad interview I did 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but he was a Mossad, director of Mossad from the 80s. I couldn't get nothing out of him when I spoke to him. It was very interesting how he interviewed. You either get a city of, you know what, I believe it, or I don't. Great, it's your position. This other part, you have to almost put in if you're making the argument, you make a decision for yourself. And Michael Baden, sketchy doctor, a lot of people say, but some people also give him credibility. He's the only guy that did the autopsy on JFK, Martin Luther King, O.J. Simpson, on Nicole, Phil
It's
Spector,
their,
Jeffrey
what's
Epstein.
Tiger Things? Can what
Here's
Tiger
what he said.
Things?
JFK assassination,
Tiger Things.
concluded JFK was shot from behind, supporting single shooter theory. Okay. MLK upheld that James Earl Ray was likely the lone shooter. All right. O.J. Simpson suggests that murders occurred later than prosecution claimed, questioning wound patterns. All right. Phil Spector argued the victim may have committed suicide.
How's
Theory
your
rejected by jury. Jeffrey Epstein disputed official suicide ruling, said injuries consistent with homicidal strangulation. Homicidal strangulation? Yes. George Floyd concluded death was due to asphyxia from sustained neck and back compression. What Derek Chauvin had his knee on his neck, that's what they're talking about. Now here's the kicker, before I say anything. Watch this. Jeffrey Epstein, the conclusion he came up with saying it's homicide, not suicide, he was hired by Epstein's brother to observe the autopsy. George Floyd, when he said it was on Chauvin, not anything else, that's after this Michael Baden guy was hired by Floyd's family for independent autopsy. And if I go back and look at O.J. Simpson, people comfortable with the relationship, it's a little bit too public. And these stories can continue going with the way it's used with other people. You've heard names with MDS and others. You know, there's been pictures with Musk and Ghislaine. But again, Musk could be simply at a party that's hanging out with other billionaires that they're there. Musk himself called the idea absurd and radioactive, stating Epstein never advised me on anything because Epstein apparently, you know, described himself as an advisor during an intense period that they're negotiating certain things. You know, they don't like that. Leon Black, this one's a little bit weird with Epstein, co-founder of Power Up Global. Then he became a top executive at BlackRock after 2006 and 2019. Senator Ron Wyden released a letter detailing Black's financial relationship with Epstein. Ready for this one? Remember how that one guy, Lex Wexner, gave him a $77 million most expensive private residence in Manhattan? Look at this one here. Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017 for consulting services, and paid an additional $20 million explicitly for a trust transaction that saved him $600 million in future tax liabilities. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he did. Little weird to pay $158 over a 5-year period. And then this continues, different visits. Former Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel between 2013 and 2017, frequent visits. Again, Barack visited Epstein's home in New York about 30 times between 2013 and 2017. 30 times? Maybe they're talking in Talmud. First, explicitly for a trust transaction that saved them $600 million in future taxes. Lex Wexner gave him a $77 million most expensive private residence in Manhattan. Look at this one here. Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017 for consulting services.
He is
And
connected
paid
to
an
rich
additional $20
people.
million explicitly for a trust transaction that saved them $600 million in future tax liabilities.
Don't
Maybe it's
sweat
right.
yourself.
Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he did. Little weird to pay $158 over a 5-year period.
Can you
And it
borrow
was
a pen up
continuous,
from
different
Anna?
I
visits.
already asked Anna.
Former Prime Minister and
I
Defense
don't know.
Minister of Israel between 2013 and 2017, frequent visits. Again,
Where's she at?
Barack visited Epstein's home in New York
Does Anna
about
have
30
one?
times between
I
2013
don't know.
and
I asked Anna.
2017.
No
30
response.
times. Maybe
Anna's
they're
house?
talking in town, maybe they're talking investments, maybe they're talking taxes. Maybe they're talking the most recent trade Yankees he's not happy with. I don't know, maybe they're for
Your items are out of
consulting
stock.
and paid an additional $20 million
What's this?
explicitly for a trust transaction that saved them $600 million.
Your other
in
order
future
is
tax
out of
liabilities.
stock. What's
Maybe
this?
it's
And the
right.
other
Maybe
the
that's
other
what it
one
was.
is
Maybe that's
coming.
what he did. Little weird to pay
Okay, so
158
maybe
over a 5-year
it's
period. And it
Only
just
one
continues.
order.
Different
What's the
business.
one you
Former
research
Prime
from
Minister and
Food
Defense
Panda?
Minister of Israel
That was my only
between
order.
2013 and 2017
But then this one
frequent
is
visits.
Anytime.
Again, every time.
Hello.
Maybe they're talking in town, maybe they're talking.
Nang
about
niyog lang
maybe
bilin
they're
sa
talking
labi.
taxes. Maybe
Stories
they're talking
1.
most recent trade Yankees, he's not happy.
Oh, thank you,
I don't know,
Gary.
maybe they're talking why the Knicks have.
Spouses.
Later on, why to release a
I don't know
letter
what to do.
detailing Black's financial relationship with Epstein. Ready for this one? Remember how that one guy, Lex Wexner, gave him a $77 million most expensive private
Pure
residence
gold,
in
I don't
Manhattan?
know.
Look at this
What's
one.
that?
Leon Black
What's
paid
from
Epstein
pure gold?
$158 million
Jay, hello.
in 2012 and 2017 for consulting services and paid an additional $20 million explicitly for a trust transaction that saved him $600 million in future tax liabilities. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he did. Little weird to pay $158 over a 5-year period. And it just continues. Different visits. Former Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel between 2013 and 2017 frequent visits. Again, Barack visited Epstein home in New York about 30 times between 2013 and 2017. 30 times. Maybe they're talking intel, maybe they're talking investments, maybe they're talking taxes. Maybe they're talking the most recent trade Yankees he's not happy with. I don't know. Maybe they're talking why the Knicks haven't won a championship since '72. Could be a lot of different things they're talking about. In one normal trip in 2014 brought through with Epstein from Palm Beach to Tampa on Epstein's private island. What are they doing? They're talking business speculation. I have no clue. Little weird, that many visits. Somebody may say, well, he's Jewish. So once you become wealthy, I mean, you're eventually going to be tied to whatever national. Okay, I'm Armenian, I'm tied to a lot. I'm Assyrian. Yes, that does kind of make sense. At this level, who knows? Maybe it is. It's a little weird. It's a little suspect. You have to put it out there. Here's a former Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben Menashe, has made
How are you
several
guys
striking
doing?
claims about Epstein's role as intelligence asset primarily for Israel's Mossad. Here's a small assessment that he made. His assertions. You ready? Number 1. Epstein and Maxwell were part of Mossad run operations. He told investigative journalist Zev Shalem that he was introduced to Epstein and joined Maxwell in the mid-80s by Lala Maxwell, a figure that had deep ties to Israeli intelligence. But according to Ben, Epstein and Maxwell were already working with Israeli intelligence at the time. That's in the
We have
mid-80s.
here all sold out.
And honey trap operations come from our collection. He described Epstein's sex trafficking
1.4
enterprise
kilograms
as deliberate
of
honey trap operation offering sexual encounters and underage girls to powerful individuals as a means to
beef,
gather
ground
power and
beef,
material.
and then
Allegedly using
1.4
blackmail
kilograms
them
of
on behalf of the side. And in part of Maxwell's circle and Iran-Contra connections, Ben also claimed that network included Maxwell, Daily Mirror editor Nick Davies, and himself
Crop
including that
ground.
Epstein and
So we
Maxwell
have
were
two
integrated
kinds of
into
ground.
continuing
Or
Mossad
the other
operations
kind.
stemming from Iran-Contra arms and espionage dealings. This guy's an intelligence officer. We just recently had a guy, John, tear up on the podcast. He was the first CIA officer to come out and speak against the president for waterboarding and went to jail for 23 months. This CIA officer, whistleblower. So, do you trust it? It's up to you. This is coming from a guy that's on the inside, not giving stuff like this. Now, the pushback denials. Naftali Bennett, former Israeli Prime Minister, has categorically denied these claims. He stated with 100% certainty that Epstein never worked for Mossad and that the speculation to the contrary was categorically and totally false. Do you believe him? Maybe. I had the former Mossad, director of Mossad, interview I did 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but he was a Mossad, director of Mossad from the 80s. I couldn't get nothing out of him when I spoke to him. It was very interesting how he interviewed. Yeah, they got a city of you know what, I don't know before I don't. Sure,
Yay!
this other part, you have to split it if you make the argument, you make the decision whether it's a penny, Michael Baden. Sketchy doctor, a lot of people say, but some people also give him credibility. He's the only guy that did the autopsy on JFK, Martin Luther King, O.J. Simpson, on what happened with Nicole, Phil Spector, Jeffrey Epstein, and George Floyd. Here's what he said. JFK assassination, concluded JFK was shot from behind, supporting single shooter theory. Okay. MLK, upheld that James Earl Ray was likely the lone shooter. All right. O.J. Simpson suggested
Why
the
didn't you
murders
tell us
occurred
to leave?
later than prosecution claimed.
Why do you tell us to
partially
leave?
in Wound County.
He was standing there at the door waiting.
Phil
for
I told him just
Argued
leave
the
it.
victim may have committed
He's
suicide.
outside that
Theory
door.
I told
rejected
him.
by jury.
Just
Jeffrey
leave it
Epstein
there.
disputed official suicide ruling, said injuries
Well, I went down.
consistent with
I was
homicide,
standing.
strangulation. Homicide
Billion.
strangulation.
That's understandable.
George Floyd concluded death was due to asphyxia from sustained neck and back compression. So Derek Chauvin had his knee on his neck. That's what they're talking about. And here's the kicker. Before I say anything, watch this. Jeffrey Epstein, the conclusion we can almost say is homicide, not suicide. He was hired by Epstein's brother to observe the autopsy. George Floyd, when he said it was on Chauvin, not anything
The
else.
order was canceled.
That's after this Michael Bailey guy was hired by
You
Floyd
check your
family
notification.
for independent autopsy. And if I go back and look at O.J. Simpson, that was after he was hired by defense expert witness. Same with Field. For JFK, hired by the HSCA forensic panel. So it seems like whoever hires them, he favors the autopsy towards them. I'm putting that out there, and I'm trying to find out what's going on with Epstein. I don't know if this Michael Bailey guy gives me a lot of credibility. And we got to do the timeline to see what happens here. July 23rd, 2019, Epstein found injured and semi-conscious in his cell with marks on his neck. Okay? Officials weren't sure if it was suicide attempt or so. He was placed on suicide watch at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in New York. 6 days later, Epstein's removed from suicide watch. He's transferred to psychological observation, a less stringent status. The decision was made despite his prior injury and a high-profile nature of the case. Little weird. July 30th to August 8th, this is for the next week. Epstein is moved to Special Housing Group, SHU. He is assigned a cellmate, Nicholas Tartagliano, a former cop facing quadruple homicide charges. Little weird. Tartagliano was the same cellmate when Epstein was found injured on July 23rd. All right, now we go to August 9th. Friday afternoon, Tartagliano was transferred out of Epstein's cell, reportedly at Epstein's request. This left Epstein alone in his cell, which violated FCC protocol for high-risk inmates. At this point, he was no longer under suicide watch or close monitoring. Suspect. Day later, August 10th. Epstein is found dead at 6:30 in the morning. He had apparently hanged himself with a bed sheet from the top bunk. No guard had checked on it for 8 hours. Surveillance cameras malfunctioned, and the two guards on duty fell asleep and falsified logs. And the governor, Sam Bondi, releases a video, and there's a 1 minute break. It was like, wait a minute, we know somebody edited and messed with this at the 1 minute break. But as she tried to explain it to say, well, that's just typical what they've been doing for the last, decade plus. They typically have a minute before midnight that they do this with. A minute before midnight. He was there at 6:30. It's kind of weird what's going on there. She said, well, we didn't find anything. The only thing we found was a lot of child porn, which we will never release to the public. That's why people are asking. This is kind of weird. Everybody told us there was something. All of a sudden, there's nothing. Now, watch this. And by the way, while I'm shooting this video, so first, I'm going to show you updated right now while I'm shooting this video. Now we're getting an article from Wired. According to Wired, it wasn't just a moment that was cut. Further analysis shows that one of the source clips was a this thing from Palm Beach to Tampa. The defense minister of Israel, between 2013 and 2017, frequent visits. Again, Barack visited Epstein home in New York 30 times between 2013 and 2017. 30 times. Maybe they're talking income, maybe they're talking investments, maybe they're talking taxes. Maybe they're talking the most recent trade Yankees, he's not happy, but I don't know. Maybe they're talking why the Knicks haven't won any championships in 72. Could be a lot of different things they're talking about. In one normal play, 2014 brought through, where Epstein from Palm Beach to Tampa on Epstein's private island. What are they doing? They're talking business speculation. I have no clue. Little weird, that many visits. Somebody may say, well, he's Jewish. So once you become wealthy, I mean, you're eventually going to be tied to whatever national. Okay, I'm Armenian, I'm tied to a lot of, I'm a Syrian. Yes, that does kind of make sense. At this level, who knows? Maybe it is. It's a little weird. It's a little suspect. You have to put it out there. Here's a former Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben-Menashe, has made several striking claims about Epstein's role as intelligence asset primarily for Israel's Mossad. Here's a small little assessment that he made. His assertions. You ready? Number one. Epstein was introduced to Epstein and Joanne Maxwell in the mid-80s.
Oh,
According to Ben, Epstein and Maxwell were already working with Israeli intelligence at the time. That's in the mid-80s. Then honey trap operations for criminal collection. He described Epstein's sex trafficking enterprise as deliberate honey trap operations of sexual encounters and underage girls with powerful individuals as a means to gather compromise and allegedly use them to blackmail them on behalf of the side. And in part of Maxwell's
Message mo ako, Nay.
connections,
Nay, message mo ako. Message mo ako, hindi kita maintindihan. Message mo ako, hindi kita maintindihan.
Were integrated into continuing misogynist operations stemming from Iran-Contra arms and espionage dealings. This guy's an intelligence officer. He just recently had a guy, John Chiraco. Just with Musk and Ghislaine, but again, Musk could be simply at a party that's hanging out with other billionaires that they're there. Musk himself called the idea absurd and radioactive, stating Epstein never advised me of anything because Epstein apparently, described himself as an advisor during an intense period that they're negotiating certain things. They don't like that. Leon Black, this was a little bit weird with Epstein, co-founder of Hola Global. They became a top executive at BlackRock after 2006 and 2019. Senator Ron Wyden released a letter detailing Black's financial relationship with Epstein. Ready for this one? Remember how that one guy, Lex Wexner, gave him a $77 million most expensive private residence in Manhattan? Look at this one here. Leon Black paid Epstein $158 million between 2012 and 2017 for consulting services and paid an additional $20 million explicitly for a trust transaction that saved him $600 million in future tax liability. Maybe it's right. Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that's what he did. They were willing to pay $158 over a 5-year period. And then this continues. Different visits. Former Prime Minister and Defense Minister of Israel between 2013 and 2017 frequent visits. Again, Black visited Epstein's home in New York about 30 times between 2013 and 2017. Every time, maybe they're talking income, maybe they're talking investments, maybe they're talking taxes. Maybe they're talking the most recent trade Yankees he's not happy with. I don't know. Maybe they're talking why the Knicks haven't won a championship since '72. Could be a lot of different things they're talking about. In one normal trade of 2014 broke through with Epstein from Palm Beach to Tampa on Epstein's private island. What are they doing? They're talking business speculation. I have no clue. Little weird. That many business. Somebody may say, well, he's Jewish. So once you become wealthy, you're eventually going to be tied to whatever next one. Okay, I'm Armenian. I'm tied to a lot of. I'm a Syrian. Yes, that does kind of make sense. At this level, who knows? Maybe it is. It's a little weird. It's a little suspect. You have to put it out there. Here's a former Israeli intelligence officer, Ari Ben Menashe, has made several striking claims about Epstein's role as intelligence asset primarily for Israel's Mossad. Here's a small little assessment that he made. His assertions. You ready? Number one, Epstein and Maxwell were part of Mossad run operations. He told investigative journalist Zev Shaleh that he was introduced to Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell in the mid-'80s by Robert Maxwell, a figure that had deep dive Israeli intelligence. According to Ben, Epstein and Maxwell were already working with Israeli intelligence at the time. That's in the mid-'80s. Then honey trap operations come from our collection. He described Epstein's sex trafficking enterprise as deliberate honey trap operation offering sexual encounters and underage girls to powerful individuals as a means to gather compromised material, allegedly using them to blackmail them on behalf of the side. And in part of Maxwell's circle and Iran-Contra connections, Ben also claimed that network included Maxwell, dating her editor Nick Davies, and himself including that Epstein and Maxwell were integrated into continuing misogynist operations stemming from Iran-Contra arms and espionage dealings. This guy's an intelligence officer. He just recently had a guy, John Chiraco, on the podcast. He was the first CIA officer to come out and speak against the president of the water board. He went to jail for 23 months. This CIA officer, who's the So, do you trust him? It's up to you. This is coming from a guy that's on the inside. I give you stuff like this. Now, the pushback announced. Naftali Bennett, former Israeli Prime Minister, has categorically denied his claims. He stated with 100% certainty that Epstein never worked for Mossad and that the speculation to the contrary is categorically and totally false. Do you believe him? Later, I had the former Mossad director of Mossad interviewed 4 years ago, 5 years ago, but he was on the side of the Mossad from the 80s. I couldn't get nothing out of him when I spoke to him. It was very interesting how he interviewed. You have to get a city and say, you know what, I believe it, or I don't. Great, it's your position. This other part, you have to almost put in if you make the argument, you make the decision for yourself, and Michael Bay, sketchy sketchy doctor, a lot of people say, but some people also give him credibility. He's the only guy that did the autopsy on JFK, Martin Luther King, O.J. Simpson, on what happened with Nicole, Phil Spector, Jeffrey Epstein, and George Floyd.
Next
Now, here's what he said. JFK assassination, concluded JFK was shot from behind, supporting single shooter theory. Okay. MLK upheld that James Earl Ray was likely the lone shooter. All right. O.J. Simpson suggests that murders occurred later than prosecution claimed, questioning wound patterns. All right. Phil Spector argued the victim may have committed suicide, theory rejected by jury. Jeffrey Epstein disputed official suicide ruling, said injuries consistent with homicidal strangulation. Homicidal strangulation? Yes. George Floyd concluded death was due to asphyxia from sustained neck and back compression with Derek Chauvin had his knee on his neck. That's what they're talking about. Now here's the kicker, before I say anything. Watch this. Jeffrey Epstein, the conclusion he came up with saying it's homicide, not suicide, he was hired by Epstein's brother to observe the autopsy. George Floyd, when he said it was on Chauvin, not anything else, that's after this Michael Bailey guy was hired by Floyd's family for independent autopsy. And if I go back and look at O.J. Simpson, that was after he was hired by defense expert witness. Same with Phil. For JFK, hired by the HSCA forensic panel. So it seems like whoever hires him, he favors the autopsy towards them. I'm putting that out there, and I'm trying to find out what's going on with Epstein. I don't know if this Michael Bailey guy gives me a lot of credibility. And then we got to do the timeline to see what happens here. July 23rd, 2019, Epstein found injured and semi-conscious in a cell with marks on his neck. Okay? Officials weren't sure if it was suicide attempt or assault. He was placed on suicide watch at the Metropolitan Correctional Facility in New York. 6 days later, Epstein's removed from suicide watch. He was transferred to psychological observation, a less stringent status. The decision was made despite his prior injury and a high-profile nature of the case. Little weird. July 30th to August 8th, this is for the next week, Epstein is moved to Special Housing Unit, SHU. He is assigned a cellmate, Nicholas Tartagliano, a former cop facing quadruple homicide charges. Little weird. Tartagliano was the same cellmate when Epstein was found injured on July 23rd. All right, now we go to August 9th. Friday afternoon, Tartagliano was transferred out of Epstein's cell, reportedly at Epstein's request. This left Epstein alone in his cell, which violated FCC protocol for high-risk inmates. At this point, he was no longer under suicide watch or close monitoring. Suspect. Day later, August 10th. Epstein is found dead at 6:30. What's that charges? Little weird. Tartagliano was the same cellmate when Epstein was found injured on July 23rd. All right, now we go to August 9th. Friday afternoon, Tartagliano was transferred out of Epstein's cell, reportedly at Epstein's request. This left Epstein alone in his cell, which violated FCC protocol for high-risk inmates. At this point, he was no longer under suicide watch or close monitoring. Suspect. Day later, August 10th. Epstein is found dead at 6:30 in the morning. He had apparently hanged himself with a bedsheet from the top bunk. No guard had checked on it for 8 hours. Surveillance cameras malfunctioned, and the two guards on duty fell asleep and falsified laws.
That's impossible.
And the
It's
governor,
gone.
Pam Bondi, releases the video, and there's a 1-minute break. It was like, wait a minute, we know somebody edited and messed with this at the 1-minute break. But as she tried to explain it to say, well, that's just typical what they've been doing for the last, decade plus. They typically have a minute before midnight that they do this with. A minute before midnight. He was there at 6:30 in the
I
morning.
broke out in
It's kind of weird what's going on there. She said, well, we didn't find anything. The only thing we found is a lot of child porn, which we will never release to the public. So what people are asking, this is kind of weird. Everybody told us there was something. All of a sudden, there's nothing. Now, watch this. And by the way, while I'm shooting this video, it's so crazy. I'm going to show you updated blanket while I'm shooting this video. Now we're getting an article from Wired. According to Wired, it wasn't this woman that was cut. Further analysis shows that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than a segment including the final video, indicating that the footage appears to have been trimmed before release. And the amount of time is 3 minutes. Now 1 minute of stuff. So getting break over 3 minutes, a lot of stuff. By the way, 2 days before he killed himself, allegedly.
Mix.
was that one of the source clips was approximately 2 minutes and 53 seconds longer than the segment including the final video, indicating that the footage appears to have been trimmed before release, and the amount of time is 3 minutes. Now 1 minute that was cut. So give me a break. What can you do in 3 minutes? A lot of stuff. By the way, 2 days before he killed himself, allegedly, and committed suicide. You know what he did 2 days before he killed himself? Epstein's estate transferred $577 million into a trust he created 2 days before his death. And it was called the 1953 Trust. Why 1953? That's the year he was born. Real weird. 2 days before. Kind of weird. I think you are like fully prepared for some little weird. Remember how earlier we were talking about Bill Barr connection with dad and all this other kind of little weird. You know, Bill Barr, New York Times called him the ultimate cover-up general. New York Times called him that in 1992. When they would go complete different things. Imagine Bill Barr can call a cover-up general 30 years ago in New York Times. Damn! That kind of a reputation for this long. Bill Barr's role as Attorney General during Epstein is extremely significant. Why? Because some are calling this the ultimate quotational intelligence cover-up. His background, past behavior in the context of Epstein's death led to many describing Barr as a CIA fixer or a guardian of the deep state. Again, allegedly, we're not saying this is the case. That's what people say, but New York Times, if you had something someone called you New York Times in 1992 and something happens, you know, fast forward 2019, that's a long time to have that kind of a reputation. He started in the CIA in the 70s, while still in law school. Throughout his career, maintained close ties to the intelligence and national security circles. George Bush, CIA director turned president. Barr was the AG during the final years of Bush 41 administration. That's how long he goes back. He pardoned key Iran-Contra figures, effectively shutting down deeper investigations into covert arms and drug operations. And Epstein was arrested in July 2019 and died just 1 month later. Barr returned as Attorney General February of 2019, 5 months before that. Right away, you can say whatever you want to say about this thing here. It's also another thing we need to put into evidence as we're doing the Epstein files. And by the way, that money that, you know, the 2 days before he died, he moved the $577 million to the 1953 trust. That $577 million moved all the way down to $40 million. Just recently, January 2025, the state received another $112 million in a tax refund. Now the money is back up to $145 million. Used to be at $40 million. A little weird that the money is still moving around. A couple names in this case you got to be looking at. Attorney and accountant, Baron Indike, and Richard Kahn, and in the back end, as a backup, is a guy named Boris Nikolic. Boris Nikolic's background, what he does is another complete weird connection that you got here. Anyways, just a lot of stuff, you know, why the money is moving the way that it is. Now, let's look at what they found on their properties. In New York, when they found some 170 cameras, hidden cameras everywhere, a fake Austrian passport. The Palm Beach property, there was hundreds of nude or suggestive photos, which, okay, somebody could say this guy has a fetish, he likes nude pictures. And then the one in Paris, one of the expensive ones, dozens of photographs on underage girls, electronic media, including CDs and hard drives that was found later on in New York, and a contact list of high-profile European names. Okay, maybe it's connected there. But the place in New Mexico, kind of weird. Zorro Ranch, New York, and a contact list of high-profile European names. Okay, maybe it's connected there. But the place in New Mexico, kind of weird. Zorro Ranch in Stanley, New Mexico, 8,000 acres. You know what they found in this place? Obviously, cabin-style guest lodge in the desert, speculated to be used for isolating guests or girls, airstrip, and helipad allowing discreet air travel. Well, watch this one. There was allegedly a secret underground structure or bunker. He used the ranch for eugenics and genetic experiments, including interest in transhumanism and seeing the human race with Epstein's DNA, reported by New York Times. What? Seeing the human race with Epstein's DNA, reported by New York Times. He had attempted to ingratiate himself with Los Alamos National Laboratory scientists and transhumanist researchers, possibly leveraging the ranch as a hub for influence for experimentation. Anyways, look, when you look at this, it's definitely a weird character. For you to come out and say there was no client list, there was nothing going on, there's a reason why the number of searches on him, according to CNN, is up 1,200%. One day was the #1 trending topic on Twitter. Number 2 had 110,000 searches. #1 was 2 million, and it was Epstein. People are interested and they're curious. This was not part of Trump's 47 plan, the promises he made when he ran for office.
It's so
It
much
was
there.
not any of the 20 promises that he
Okay.
made. Not one of them had to do
Just
with this. But it was something that other people, Cash, Bongino, Bondi, other people kept talking about. Oh my God, did you see what it's in here? Everybody gets so interested. Of course they're going to want to follow. By the way, when names come up, oh my God, it's because Trump may be tired. You don't think Biden and Obama would have used it against him? If he had any ties, you don't think Biden and Obama would have just used this to say, hey, you better step out and not run for office, or else we're going to release this to everybody? They could have done that. How come they didn't do that? Why didn't they do that? Yeah, and why did Trump play so aggressive as if nothing was going on? It's kind of weird, right? We've seen pictures with him and Epstein and all this other stuff, and Musk with Epstein. Well, Bezos with Epstein. When you start making money and you're succeeding, you're in a lot of weird parties that you go to. Not weird as in Diddy parties. Parties that you don't know who's there. Oh, hey, meet John, this guy's a billionaire. Oh, hey, meet Bob, he's the king of this. Oh, he's a... That's how people talk to one another. I remember I had Mike Tyson one time on a podcast, and him and I were talking, and in the podcast he tells a story about a guy that one time he's taking pictures in, I don't know where he's at, New York or somewhere. He's taking pictures with all these
Sunday,
guys.
hello.
A few days later, the FBI and the SWAT and everybody starts coming to a police. Hey, to the gym. Why?
How are you? Thanks
What's
for
up?
joining here.
You took a picture of this guy? Yeah, I did. How do you know this guy? Podcast, he tells a story about a guy that one time he's taking pictures in, I don't know where he's at, New York or somewhere. He's taking pictures with all these guys. A few days later, the FBI and the SWAT and everybody starts coming to a police. Hey, to the gym. Why? Blah, 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 blah. What's up? You took a picture of this guy? Yeah, I did. How do you know this guy? I don't know this guy. I just took a picture of him. But how do you know him? I have no clue who the hell this guy. I'm just taking pictures with a bunch of different things. Do you know this guy just killed 8 people and wounded 19 people? What did you say? Yes, this guy's Dale Hausman. That's who it is, yeah. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. Let's take a picture. So take everything that you have and throw 99% of it out. But all you need is 1%. And to me, that 1% is plenty that I want to know what happened with this guy. That 1%. Too many weird things that are linked to this guy that I want to know. That's me. I'm curious. Maybe you are as well. By the way, if you have any sources, if you know anything about Epstein, if you would ever connect with him, let me hear. I'm curious. I actually want to know. If you want to be discreet and private so nobody will know, send me an active. I want to know if you know anything that's going on with Epstein that maybe ever connected with him. Let me hear. I'm curious. I actually want to know. If you want to be discreet and private so nobody will know, send me an active. I want to know if you anything about Epstein, if you were ever connected with him. Let me hear. I'm curious. I actually want to know. If you want to be discreet and private so nobody will know, send me an active. I want to know if you know anything that's going on with Epstein that maybe the public is not talking about, good or bad. Feed me all of it. I'm interested. Connect me here. I will respond back to 100% of messages. If you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And on top of that, if you've never seen Diddy Files, click here to watch the Diddy Files. We got millions of views. A lot of people were curious to know what happened there. Take care, bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we'll just put the drinks tomorrow morning. I will empty the fridge tonight. And just cheese area, the chili. May nakatraining tayo. Actually, may nako kami message.
Pinainit ko kasi nila yung ano. Sabi ko,
Concern lang sa. Ba yan? Concern lang sa.
Huwag ka dito. Saan yung right hand word? Masagi ako sa ano, sa taas mo.
Yung sa ref. Yung sa ref. Yung sa ano, kwarto.
Dahil ganda.
Over the past few days, the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi
Yeah,
Gabbard,
no, no, no,
revealed shocking new evidence that former President Barack
Yan.
Obama and top aides in the
Yan, no,
Obama
nakataas, ah.
administration
Yes.
conspired to subvert President Trump's 2016 election victory and undermine the democratic will of the American people. While publicly pretending to engage in a peaceful transfer of power, in private, former President Obama went to great and nefarious lengths to try to sow discord among the public and sabotage his successor, President Trump. The new evidence released by the Director of National Intelligence, who is here with me today, confirms that the Obama administration manufactured politicized intelligence, which was later used as the justification for baseless smears against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to against President Trump in an effort to try to delegitimize his victory before he even took the oath of office. The truth is that President Trump never had anything to do with Russia, and the Russia collusion hoax was a massive fraud perpetuated on the American people from the very beginning. And the worst part of this is Obama knew that truth, and so did all of the other corrupt officials
Sa
involved,
finger na tumatay, lalagay ko, diba?
including former CIA Director John
Bakit
Brennan,
tanggalin mga
former
drinks ka?
Director of National
Mga
Intelligence James Clapper, former FBI
Para
Director
doon
James
ilagay yung mga
Comey,
cheese.
former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and many others. Director of National Intelligence Gabbard's report further confirms what we already knew. There was no collusion, no corruption, except on the part of Barack Obama and the weaponized intelligence agencies at the time. The Russia hoax was a blatant lie, all ginned up by Democrat political operatives that were signed off on by then President Obama and leaked to the news media to launch a years-long witch hunt against President Trump and his first administration. Allies of the president, including his own son, Donald Trump Jr., were disgustingly smeared as Russian assets, and some even had their lives destroyed because of this vicious lie. The president's first 2 years in office had this fake distraction hanging over it. Endless resources, time, and political capital were spent having to debunk these lies
They
from the
said like
highest
on
levels
Sunday,
of our
if
government.
there's a free time.
Now, nearly 10 years later, thanks to the declassification of documents by Director Gabbard, the truth has finally come to
They're
light.
asking me
And
to
this truth
play
vindicates President
pickleball on
Trump,
Sunday.
his family, and his
Huh?
many allies. and
Son is asking to
associates
play
who smeared
pickleball on
with
Sunday.
defamatory lies.
You are free.
President Trump was right from the beginning about all of this, and we are grateful that justice can be served. Now, we have even more damning evidence implicating those who tried to sabotage the duly elected president and did grave material harm to our republic. Thanks to additional important work done by CIA Director Ratcliffe and Committee Chairman Rick Crawford in the
Did they
past
have
months,
a can
a
opener?
newly
No, no, but I already
report
done.
prepared by the House
They have
Government Select Committee on
So it's
Intelligence, which DNI Director
Yeah, I've been waiting.
classified, found that the intel community did not have any
Di ba mo
direct
play siya?
information that Russian President Vladimir Putin wanted to help elect President Trump in 2016, and in fact,
Hello,
Russia
thank
was
you for the
actively
house.
preparing for a Hillary Clinton victory.
Let's
But at the
see
unusual
natin.
direction
Dito
of
pa.
Barack Obama at the
Ito,
time,
nasa
the
mo lang yan.
intel community
Tapos sabi mo.
published a plausible
Kasi mga
lie suggesting
yan.
otherwise. Why? To sabotage the incoming president. This is truly one of the greatest political scandals in American history. And reporters at Legacy
Give me
Outlets,
space. Do you
some
still
of
have
which
space
are
for the
sitting in
drinks?
this room today,
Yes,
like
there's
the New York Times
space
and the
there.
Washington Post, were ridiculously awarded Pulitzer Prizes for their perpetuation of this hoax. It's well past time for those awards to be stripped from the journalism of the It is not journalism to propagate political disinformation in service of the Democrat Party and those in the intelligence community who hand over out of context and fake intelligence to push a false political narrative. I will now pass it over to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, to speak more about all of this, and then we'll open it up for questions. Tulsi, thank you.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon. President Trump's direction and with the support of the
balikan
Commission
ako.
of
Bago sila
Intelligence
umalis, balikan
Committee
siya.
Chairman Rick Crawford, Today we
Okay,
released the
thank you for driving.
declassified oversight
Thank you
control
for driving.
staff report that was produced in September of 2020.
Okay.
The stunning revelations that we are releasing today should be a concern to every American. This is not about Democrats or Republicans. This has to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. And American voters have.
We need to remove other drinks in the
How about
fridge.
the sunlight one?
There's irrefutable
We need
evidence
to
that
remove the
details
other drinks in the
how
fridge.
President Obama and
Why?
his national security
Let's do
team
it.
directed the creation of an intelligence community
What will it-
assessment that they knew was false.
Respect.
They knew that would promote
Wow.
or try to
Figured it out.
that Russia interfered in
That's
the
awesome,
existing
eh?
election
Lala
to help
store.
President Trump
It's
win.
cool.
Lala store.
Lala
Lala store.
It wasn't. The report that we released today shows in great detail how they carried this out. They manufactured findings from shoddy sources. They suppressed evidence
Ah.
of incredible intelligence
Really?
that disproved
Sarap.
their false
You need
claims.
more.
They
Okay.
Is there a space?
disobeyed traditional
No more.
intelligence community standards and withheld
Okay.
from the American people. In doing so, they conspired to subvert the will of the American people who elected Donald Trump in that election in November of 2016. They worked with their partners in the
You're
media
alarmed.
to promote this lie,
Here's that
ultimately
alarm.
undermine the
Here,
legitimacy
bell,
of President
Yeah, it's
Trump
like a
and launching
the
what
church
could
bell.
be a years-long coup
That
against
was in
him
here.
and his
What?
administration.
Yeah, there, that's one.
We're here today because the
Where? Is it
American
here?
people deserve the truth. They deserve
The phone is
accountability.
there, ah.
They deserve
On
justice.
top of the plastic
The
container
records
here.
that we released on Friday,
It was in
the
here.
ODNI records, Senator
Oh, your phone.
Grassley's release on Monday of what is known as the Clinton Annex, which is an appendix to the Department of Justice Office of Inspector General's 2018 report, as well as the House Intelligence Committee's majority oversight report that we're releasing today, all come back to and confirm the same report. There was a gross politicization, manipulation of intelligence by the Obama administration intended to delegitimize President Trump even before he was inaugurated,
Sarap.
ultimately usurping the will of the American people. I'm going to go over the key findings from the House Intelligence Report, which investigated claims that were
Marami lang ako
made
stickers.
by an intelligence community assessment ordered by President
Ah, may sticker
Obama
nga ako.
published in January of 2017.
Mag-ano, decorate.
Principal interest relating to the
Pwede na ako
2016
mag-decorate na
election
yun.
undermined faith in the U.S.
Mag-ano na ano, yung balon, maglagay ka sa aking balon dito.
Of a certain candidate.
Yung balon na yan.
This report shows Putin
Hindi, wag mo siya lakihan.
held back from leaking compromising material on Hillary Clinton prior to the election.
Ay,
Instead,
grabe
planning
rin
to
sa
release
video
it
sa
after the
lately.
election to weaken what Moscow viewed
What?
as
Do what?
an inevitable Clinton presidency.
Provide your floor.
2017 Intelligence Community Assessment that President Obama ordered, John Brennan, CIA director at the time, and the intelligence community intentionally suppressed intelligence that showed Putin was saving the most damaging material that he had in his possession about Hillary Clinton until after her potential and likely victory. The report goes into
What's
great
this, eh? I
detail
thought
about
we
the
were done
information
here.
that Russia and Putin had, on Hillary Clinton, which included possible criminal acts, like secret meetings with multiple named U.S. religious organizations in which State Department officials
Tutuwa si
offered
Sally.
in exchange for
Ano dessert?
Secretary Clinton's campaign for the presidency.
Sally is the number one happiest
significant
person
increases
tomorrow.
in financing from the State Department.
It's all desserts.
They also
Oh,
had
please.
documents that showed the patronage of the State Department to State Department employees who would go and support Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. There were high-level PNC emails that detailed evidence of Hillary's, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger,
Psycho-emotional.
aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly
I thought it was stalking,
taking
huh?
heavy
It's
tranquilizers.
Tulsi Club.
Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious, substandard sources to create, quote, psycho-emotional problems, uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression, and cheerfulness, and that then Secretary Clinton was allegedly on a daily regimen of heavy tranquilizers.
Tranquilizers.
Then CIA Director Brennan and the intelligence community mischaracterized intelligence and relied on dubious, substandard sources to create a contrived false narrative that Putin developed a quote-unquote clear preference.
Tapos yung ano, yung salad buka.
Brennan
Doon
and
na lang
the
siguro ako
Commission
bibili ng
led
bulaklak
lawmakers
sa
by
ano.
referencing the debunked Steele dossier. to assess quote-unquote Russia's plans and
Kami
intentions
gawin din pag
falsely
makita kami
suggesting
ng
that
ano.
this dossier had intelligence value.
Ang
When he knew
makita
that it
kami
was
na
discredited.
8.
The intelligence community excluded significant intelligence and ignored or selectively quoted reliable intelligence that
Jerry, where's
contradicted
your,
the
ano?
intelligence community assessment's key
Where's your
findings on
chocolate?
Putin's alleged support for Trump, including this intelligence
No,
report
lahat.
would have
Put
exposed
everything.
the ICA's claim as
And vote every year.
Here, okay?
For everybody.
No. Only. Okay, gonna put name. Jerry.
such as how some Russian
No, it is for everybody.
officials were quote-unquote planning for candidate
That's what's there. You can just dump it in. You
Is it
don't,
okay if
all others assessed
yeah, just dump, yeah, dump it all.
to respect Russia's interests.
Awesome.
As was reflected in the ODNI documents that we released on Friday, multiple intelligence.
Ay, pakikuha ko pala yung ano ko.
Ano
Ano kagad? Parcel. Nandiyan na yung souvenir sa kanila. Para sa...
intent or capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th of 2016, the
Yeah,
FBI
7 years
gave
to tomorrow.
the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing,
Ay, nalaglag
in
ka.
which there was
Inday.
no mention of Putin
Ilagay mo yung ano sa
aspiring
taas.
to elect
Oh.
The Presidential Daily
Awesome.
Brief,
Pag tinalo-halo
drafted
mo
in
muna sa
December
ano.
2016, stated that no Russian
Halo,
criminal
chocolate.
actors impacted
Mix, mix.
voters.
Halo-halo.
This
Halo,
document
chocolate.
told just
Halo,
hours
halo,
before
yeah.
it was to be published due to quote-unquote new guidance.
Follow me.
If it had been published, it would have been
Mix,
briefed
mix.
to both President Obama and President-elect Donald Trump. On December 9, 2016, a National Security Council meeting was called to gather President Obama's senior national security official, which included CIA Director Brennan, then Obama DNI James Clapper, Susan Rice, and others. Following that secret meeting, General Clapper's assistant sent an email to the intelligence community with the subject line, POTUS tasking on Russia election meddling.
Ah, parcel. Kala bang kaya at tatlo yata
New
yun.
assessment per the president's request. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report that we released today reveals that, quote, unlike routine intelligence community analysis, the intelligence community assessment was a high-profile product ordered by the president, President Obama. It directed senior intelligence community agency heads and created an intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts, using one principal drafter. This is not something that occurs in the normal path of producing an intelligence community assessment that reflects the views across the intelligence community. The production of this intelligence community assessment was subject to unusual directives directly from the president and senior political appointees, especially the former director of the CIA, John Brennan. The House Intelligence Committee Oversight Report also shows how later that same day, on December 9th, Brennan ordered the publication of quote-unquote substandard reporting on Russian
So
activities,
good.
which had previously been withheld from publication of prior assessments because the information was judged, quote, to have not met long-standing publication standards. Some of the information later used in the Obama-ordered assessment over the rejections of veteran CIA officers was quote-unquote unclear or from unknown sources.
Nasaan?
The Intelligence Committee's oversight report
Who's doing
uses
Georgia
CIA
hats?
Brennan
What is it?
senior CIA officers who challenged the Obama-ordered intelligence.
Hey, buddy.
Almost done with this
She
one.
got me all excited. She's like, they're making salad. I'm like, oh, salad. She's like, not your salad, our salad. I'm like,
Uy! Diyos ko nang bumula. Wala, hindi naman ano. Hindi naman. Nakamagnet yun. No. Sabihin ka mo galing.
Stuff about. Never
Sa
answered
ano,
the video
sa
today.
molo, dito mo na siya.
Ay, oo.
Well,
May
they,
libre
I
ka
didn't-
ba?
I didn't-
Basta galing. Huwag ko may mga rin
Someone were-
sa SSS na mga bata.
getting the car.
Yeah.
Ay, kaya na
Ay,
na
ay,
nagkuha.
Hey,
Ay,
yeah.
nag-aagiyak
But
ko
it was
na
still
sa
out there.
Yeah, but you got to search
Sa
it.
SSS.
No, no, it was on
Ano ba yung SSS banda, di ba? Babaw. Wala sila masyado doon.
But no, no, I'm saying, but it wasn't on like. like
ABC or something. No, it wasn't on that. They had on Fox News. Because it's like, they were saying, yeah, they were saying that it's like COVID stuff.
Ano to kapaya?
Well,
Was none other than
Not them. They were saying, oh, she's just tired. But like the Republicans all said, COVID stuff. 'Cause they didn't know all this other stuff.
Oo, nagpa-estimate
Whether it's true or
na
not, they didn't know it.
Mahal
Malang
kami.
tata sa may ano.
the
Sa...
inevitable
Crema
Clinton
pong-
presidency. In the
May
January
vertical,
2017
oh.
intelligence community assessment that President Obama ordered, John
Nalungkot sa tata kung ano, leche plan kay Ana.
and the intelligence
Thing is,
community intentionally suppressed
Supreme Court,
intelligence that
you know,
showed
that
who
rule
was
that
saving
can't be
most of the
Of
material that he
Of course,
had.
it is, but
Ako
that's
lang,
President
lang
Biden
po.
not.
Ako man ako.
Looks like it would. This is true.
Oo, sige. Thank you.
Detail about the information
Obama picked a team of 5 people from the intelligence
Yeah.
that has never been, like intelligence never been, you don't pick just 5 people that sit in a room for months. It's just them. Everybody, nobody else allowed to talk to them. Like that's not intelligence, that's a plan of something.
Ano din na, akuan.
Intelligence, you get information from all these people. It's a big team,
Yeah.
and you work together. There's 5 people in a room, that nobody's allowed to talk to.
Hello.
presidential campaign.
Madaras.
Tay, empty mo to ang ano, chiller.
Like only Obama will talk, sorry, not nobody.
Ay, tanggalin mo
Obama
yung
is the only person, this is his line.
Ito mo na to?
Oh, dyan na.
Intelligence Committee of Obama found
Lalo
it.
na makaon tao. Ang mga drinks na pumula, kung palabas mo, lagay natin sa ano, sa cooler. Ang pula nga cooler. Kasi
Wala nga ang
presidential
pagkakalaw.
campaign.
ano dong? Ano, cherry, ano, cherry.
Evidence of Hillary's quote, psycho-emotional problems.
Baka kami bukod sa
Fits
kilo.
of anger, aggression,
Uncontrolled fits of anger.
and that then Secretary
I wonder
Blinken
how that was
allegedly
hidden
on a
for so
daily
long.
regimen of
I don't know.
That's true, how that was.
That's 10 years.
Can't be tranquilized.
The trend always makes sense, but the trend always, you can't. You can't.
Three sa sisa ka naman.
Yes. And they,
Diba last time
they
hindi
show
mo
her,
natin makaroon?
they her up and drag her, they're still like,
This was fine.
and then hold her head.
This was
Mami to ano?
Now, and that's what trend was speaking, it's like 8 hours.
My mom used
to
to.
Ano
assess
kita ba sa sagot na?
Saan ka?
I'm going to have parties, but she took
had
it.
intelligence done.
That's
He knew that it was discredited.
But bad.
Yeah, they
The
like,
intelligence
made
community
the
experienced
legal.
intelligence and it
Yeah, that's the only way, that's all, I thought that's the only way you
Anong
can.
po?
They didn't get them with-
Ay, may binibigyan si Mikay ng
Wow, this is
quota.
like a long time ago, like
Check mo
7
nga dun sa loob.
Ano yan?
including
Bilhin si
this
Mikay ng quota.
reporting.
Ay,
Was
Parang medyo.
Good friends with kid on,
if not ridiculous.
Atlanta.
I-check mo dyan
The
kung
intelligence
sa
community assessment admitted reliably sourced information such as how some
yung mga
Russian
iba-ibang
intelligence
portion kayo.
Oh,
were
really?
planning
If
for
you're
Iran,
Oh my God, everything's
while
great.
others assessed neither.
You don't remember anything, not a word.
grabe ang footage. Pero yung ano na.
As was reflected in the documents that
Sa
were
base na sa atin.
multiple
Kasi masyado
intelligence
matanda.
assessments
Yung
released
mga
in the
drinks.
leading up to
Are you drinking
February
tonight?
2016
Ay, because
election.
we will remove the drinks.
Concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the
Drink.
outcome
Whatever
of
you
the US
do.
election.
Drinks lang?
On December
Oo.
5th of 2016, the FBI and ODNI gave the House Intelligence Committee its first post-election classified briefing, in which there was no mention
see a
of
change.
Kasi
the
baba natin yung ano,
level
yung
outcome
cheese.
by
Mga
either
cheese.
agency.
Like,
The presidential daily brief,
Change.
drafted on December 8th of 2016, stated that no Russian
Hey, Chris, hello.
impacted vote counts.
Michael, ay, I know Michael. You're my friend from Rabasero. Uncle Michael Comister.
If it had been published, it would have been briefed to both President
Hello,
Obama
hello.
and like I knew about the emails, but I didn't realize 16
Bless it,
What
ah.
was it was that they
What's that baby diaper?
33,000. And they were not, like, her email she was getting was not allowed
They
to
said that
leave the
she
White House.
had
Following
two,
that
she
secret
wanted,
meeting,
would
DNI
have
classified
one
sent
phone,
an email
personal, one private.
right, but
subject
they,
line,
Mga drinks, ang mga ano. Oh, tanggalin mo na yung wala
Yeah,
nang
she said, I only had 2, one person that got us was 13.
per the
And she
president.
said, I only did this so I could, it would make my life easier. But the stuff but anything, I didn't read at home.
Chelsea's wedding.
Yeah, it was a wedding, it was, they claimed it was
Salad,
birthday party.
By the president.
salad ingredients.
33,000 emails of birthday parties?
Salad ingredients for my grandmother
Balik
and
mo
something.
mamaya.
Intelligence community assessment limited to just 5 analysts.
Hey!
in one principal draft.
That's too much.
This is not something that occurs path
For baby's diaper. Thank you so much.
that across the
So
views,
crazy.
across the intelligence community.
Ano said?
That's what the intelligence community
Next
assessment.
time, Bengal sent $20 for baby's diaper.
Senior
Did your grandma?
political appointees,
Huh?
Grandma?
especially the former director of the
in the
CIA,
YouTube.
John Brennan.
A random person.
Report also
I signed
showed
for
that
it.
later that same day,
From Georgia also.
The guy that she knew.
Yeah, just in YouTube.
which had previously been without qualifications prior assessment.
That's nice. That'll do one time.
Who have not met long-standing
Better than nothing.
qualification standards.
He's always sending me after
Information
it.
introduced in the Obama order assessment.
Ano yan yung lumabas ka sulat?
Veterans
Ayaw mo tuloy at inside?
unclear or from unknown sources. The
Yung ano yung siguro sa may space ka para sa
There's only going to be like 15 people here.
ano ano?
They still recruit I guarantee I'll get 2 of those stacks from me.
Yet,
You want the email?
You know there's not 100 people coming, right?
January 6th,
There's not 100 people coming.
No, it's just like 10.
95,
About
only
10.
95.
Only 10 people.
conspired to help President-elect Trump's election chances.
The best word is tomorrow, lots extra, or 2 days from now, we're lots extra for
Filipina, tapos si China sunod. Ayaw na timalayin yun.
It's not Saturday, not Friday.
Well, no, so,
Hello,
so after Saturday,
I don't know what's going on. They might have said we're going to visit you. She's saying they don't know some stuff.
Hello, Nakita.
God bless you.
Like just the type of person like
Typhoon. We're fine
you
here.
don't find out.
Yeah, it's only the
She
problem.
don't volunteer nothing.
With regards to the
Send it across, okay?
interpretation of this.
What is it? What time is it tomorrow?
January 22nd.
3 p.m.
Was none other than the discredited
3
unverified
p.m.
three lawsuit.
Yeah.
The House Intel report states claims
That's it.
After you until you
into this intelligence assessment.
wanna stay
The
here.
dossier was drafted. The intelligence assessment to be detailed in a 2-page assessment annex. John Brennan won. He denied using this dossier in his intelligence assessment that President Obama ordered because he knew it was discredited. It was politically motivated, manufactured
Yan na.
fraud. He directed senior CIA officials
Ginamit
to
yung boss
use
mo
it
kay
anyway.
Trimi siya.
CIA officer told the House Intelligence Committee staff as they investigated this quote,
Just
the
you,
director of the CIA, John Brennan,
shot the officer in the
and
face.
when confronted with the dossier,
Been
read
arrested
the law.
for 5 days.
Hi.
And they just keep getting like, New York and
Ang
Boston.
ano na kain?
Even the bipartisan Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, which
Ang
was
cheese.
published in 2020,
Yeah,
criticized
but
the
it's all these things, like, they only went to sanctuary cities.
noting its
You know, that's where criminals are gonna come.
Exactly.
Tawag na si Shona.
Yan.
Putang sa tubang ni Masin.
Mata-mate.
There's continued like.
Jeremy, look.
President Obama
Oh, you went Halloween in. You went Halloween in?
Trick or
Did you
treat.
go Halloween? Yeah? Go Halloween?
Oh, it's perfect. Huh? That's perfect. Perfect. US kung masawin
Ayan na.
on the scope, nature, and intent of Russian interference
Oh,
in
look at all the pretty colors.
Uy,
election.
magbuba.
This is reported by NBC News confirming that Brennan,
Dali lang ang
James
isang
Clapper,
buksan
and
eh.
James Comey agreed with the CIA's assessment
Oh no!
on Trump's bid presidency.
Wow.
As Obama Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper was tasked with overseeing the creation of
Okay,
this
what is it
assessment.
with?
Yeah, Baby Ruth's my favorite too.
2017 by
What is?
President
Baby
Obama.
Ruth.
And
Baby
all
Ruth.
in its findings. In a 2018 interview,
Reese's Mustang.
Clapper said he talked about how
Ganun
he
mo.
provided Trump with the same classified assessment that President
Si Lu,
Obama
si Lula pala yung ano natin bukas, baby. Ang dami kong dito sa
directly
pink ko.
ordered that
Ano yan? Pink, ano yan?
Clapper then went on to
Yan,
say
nalagay mo na yung bago dito.
that Russians actually influenced the
Mga ano
outcome.
ba, mga mopis, mga
This is a
mawalo.
brief summary of the details that you'll find within House Majority Staff's report in their investigation into the Obama-directed January 2017 intelligence community assessment. That leads us to the very same conclusion that we announced in the release of our documents on Friday. The implications of this are far-reaching and have to do with the integrity of our democratic republic. It has to do with an outgoing president taking action to manufacture intelligence, to undermine and usurp the will of the American people,
Hey.
intact, and launch what would be a years-long
Hey,
war
buddy.
against the incoming president of the United States,
buddy.
Donald Trump.
Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah, Kit Kats are good.
Thank you to the
Kit
seat.
Kats
We
are
do want
good.
to take questions on this topic while the director has time for this topic. She will leave. I'm happy to take questions on other matters after that. But if anyone has questions for Director Gabbard, you're welcome to ask them. We'll start with our immediacy as always. Emily, go ahead.
Thank you. Director Gabbard, this one is for you. Do you believe that any of this new information implicates former President Obama in criminal activity?
We have referred and will continue to refer all of these documents to the Department of Justice and the FBI to investigate criminal implications of this. The evidence that we found and that we have released directly point to President Obama leading the manufacturing of this intelligence assessment. There are multiple pieces of evidence and intelligence that confirm that fact.
Something is not. Something is not.
Yan yung bukas sa lasanin. Magawa ka lang yung sa ngayon na kasi makarin ako sa
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I am not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people of the Republic and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years to handle this.
How crazy. Trying to charge the bombs.
Hello. Sunigo ko
I
kadungog.
know.
Anak ka visitor boss, ano na?
I think it's
Natulog ka na.
Yeah.
Nagpa-print ako.
That goes to the ship.
Pretty. Pretty vlog.
My job again, as I said when I came into this role, was to make sure
Ano
that
naman yung something sa baba mo?
we are telling the truth.
Kasi ang ano kanina, ang racist
And
tayo.
that we are ensuring
Ang racist
that
doon masulod sa baba.
is not being policed.
Sunod na just Luis, bitakluban ka. Magsapat. Jay mo, ang gali oh.
I give him a chance, 30 days. Within 30 days. Yeah, pull them out.
Wala na akong
Say
say.
it.
Decoration na lang.
That's where.
Takot na lang decoration.
Fuck, no shit. That don't mean-
Anong oras boss na?
He made water
Pero pwede kang mag-ready para
torture recording.
President Obama
Kaya ang photographer,
I mean, unless you do it wrong.
He's dying, let's get rid of it.
photographer.
It's not, it's very, it's,
Right.
but that's how you get people.
Yeah, what does that they do?
They take it.
Same katoligan.
Oo, pero ibang lalaki.
I'm telling you to look at the
Then,
evidence. Look at the
the
evidence.
transgender stuff, he was forcing them.
Ibang bubo kami. Ang mga nakakapagpagpag bakal. Bakal na ganit ang gatas.
But they was giving so much money. We'll give you $100 million, but you have to show them gays and transgender, and we'll do surgery for free. And we said, whoa, hold on. So you're trying to change the lawyer. You need to think like this.
Right. Right, but he went around, first got elected, talked about
I
how
can't speak to what happened.
Kami ko ang pantulog nila sa bakal ko. Tapos may ano siya ngayon. Sabay pila ko sa per month. Buti ingat dati ko dati kami tatay na ngayon. Pwede ko man sa sabay lang tapos damit ko lang ano. Sa may DIY.
There's like, I
Ang
would
ano,
always,
parang
when they get the
mga
documents.
bag.
there's never been a picture where it's pregnant.
Laban mo na kayo, ano ba?
What about her?
Laban mo na.
She has children pictures, she has pictures of both before the born and after the born, but she has no
Hindi
pictures
kami
of
tayo
the
sa
pregnant.
upay din.
That's crazy.
It's surrogate.
Yan sa molo banda.
She said she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She said. There's no evidence of it. There's pictures of her pregnant.
I'll point back to the.
I don't know if they, I mean, I know I'm positive we're together now, but I don't know if they were together. I mean, they were good.
na lang. Ang banilo kay Michael. Tama na din.
And she even says on her,
Banilo si God. Grabe ba?
yeah, here's where I didn't like it. Here's where I didn't like it.
Like that's with
Who
me,
is that boy I see?
right?
Staring straight.
Ano ni Cheese?
Oh,
Bakilo.
The legitimacy of
And then like,
Eden
he had like,
cheese.
he
Hello,
wrote poems and
everybody.
poetry and books
How
and all
are
about
you? I'm eating salad. It's so sweet.
family
Hindi ako kakaan sa kayo na road cake. Ang mga kayo. Yung flat na namin na. May kinakabalik.
And it's so sweet, you know? Yun, no? Ano na lang, ang glaze gani ina, butang dyan. Tapos bakla natin ice na doon. Ay, butang. Ha?
Ni mama ko.
I don't have any documents that.
Di ba mabutang ang ano, ang sauce? Para space sa sauce. Ah, bakit ito? Look, what did you do? Bigyan ka na siya. Mix kita sa ano, lasagna eh.
Pagbukan at sauce.
Mix kita sa lasagna eh. So good. Delicious.
Anything I
No,
can share,
really?
share with
That began
President Bush and
the campaign with the Steele dossier.
Gugula tikit, gugula ikot ikaw.
he's on an email basis.
Sige.
You know, whatever it is.
Ay, may nahuli. I am expecting a bigger one. Ano na siya?
I seriously, I went back and forth also, like, maybe when the second one now, I figured I kept it.
I'll say this, I don't know about that, for sure. I'll bet my house, 81 million votes. Was any other president ever stood? No.
And there's such a big push for Donald Trump this last time, and he still didn't get as many votes as Joe Biden. And, but I'm actually glad he won because he has such a better team now, and such a,
Otherwise, he would have just went on with the same.
yeah, when he was raised, when he was going for the second election, he had the same vice president.
Half the people were.
And if you recall, just
That's my job.
It's good to go there.
and you
Ito na lang siguro yung mga
in the city, namely out of shift.
Tama na balance.
I remember when he was running Trump, I researched what happened. This guy's cool, he's good.
Hillary Clinton
But then like after 2 years of Trump, he's like,
a puppet
he was
who
something
incited
that.
campaign called President Trump Vladimir Putin's defense lawyer out of shift stated. And one of the worst things a lawmaker could do is to tell the American people, I know something you don't know, it's just classified and I can't tell you. And that's what he said. I can tell you that the case is more than that. I can't go into detail, but there's more than
Bayo mundo ah.
now. And
Wala ko kita ng bayo na.
no journalist
Ako nga kapayat, palit.
pushed out of shift.
Mali naman ginawa.
Talking about what evidence do you have?
Kailangan
Everybody just ran with the lie, and it led to impeachment. It led to the division of our
Ayan,
country.
say hi. Hello to a million in the house.
And it's a
You know, I
complete
know.
scam.
I
know.
Scandal. The president wants to see accountability for that. Phil.
Right? Ay, sino yan? Sino yan? Kulay pink na donut.
Ano yan? Raasay sinar.
Ay, totoo.
Ay, abaw.
Ano? Nagbablog ka na? Ay,
Ano na siya magpakilo. Ano na siya mag... Baka may buot mo lang na kita na.
dalawa kasi ang configuration eh. Diyan yung may tarpaulin, tapos dito yung
I
parang
think it's a
konti na.
disservice to the American
Tapos nakalagay na baby shower ba yan?
Dira o. Ito yung magsulod ba na sila?
Yum, yum, yum. Tapos parang gusto mo lagay ito ng balon.
Doing this with his eye.
Parang nakapang dito ba na?
Piluhay.
Nagpapakit ka doon.
Ay, binaburuan mo. Alamin ka. Ano na siya mo?
Hello!
At least 6, 7 inches tall.
Who say that the administration is.
Taller than this guy.
Huwag kang abot na mo sa may dito. Pinagulan na bako. Binagulo sa langit.
Guys, listen to the American people.
Yung nakakalo.
Nakadlaw ka na din sa lamin.
Say hello to the
viewers. These documents, they are doing a disservice to the American people and trying to deflect away from their culpability in what is a historic scandal and negative action towards the American people and our democratic republic. The answer to that statement can very clearly be found throughout all of the documents that we have released. Again, showing that Russia has took action to try to sow discord in the election, but showed no preference for or against any singular candidate.
Kita mo ba yung peanut?
You won't get
It's so crazy. Have you Democrats who voted for
Hindi rin ba yung
She was Democrat for first time.
Attack.
They ran against
People who deserve the truth.
16.
They deserve to have state policy integrity, which is
may mga
unbent.
bulbul na nakaano na eh. Hala, ilo.
Already played.
Under his direction of this manufactured fake intelligence document, knowing
But she's 100% Democrat.
Ngayon,
Like,
yung reason siya, asymmetrical, no?
the Democrat Party is screwed. Something's wrong with the Democrat Party.
that came
Like, I cannot stand, I can't.
And I would just add, there needs to be accountability for that weaponization of the
Salamin.
of the weaponized government more than President Trump, not just because of this political scandal. You all recall his house was raided. So I think it's very disingenuous for people to say, how dare they speak
Actually, targeted
based on evidence, based on intelligence, from a former president of the United States.
How was it? They said it wasn't a political thing. They said, you know, they had boxes, like,
For crimes.
so they had boxes of evidence
Nga,
or evidence on it that they brought into,
Like,
like, there wasn't stuff, there was nothing in there. They brought the boxes with the word evidence and put it on there to take pictures. And had nothing in there. So I was like, oh, that's nothing to do with the law.
And I think that you're leading Americans to realize that
Just on this, your government also has to provide intelligence reports and assessments on this.
Oh, yeah, there's,
Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
she has
Sent a statement
Rubio said that he didn't have all the information that because they hid it.
evidence of Russian meddling. One, are you saying you're wrong in that statement that you made then? And secondly, what would you say to people who believe you're only releasing these documents now to improve your statement to the president after he said that your intelligence is
comments?
Well, first, I want to correct something that you stated, which was citing the Senate Intelligence Committee's report as being one and the same. I think you said the Intelligence Committee. The Senate Intelligence Committee has a very different function than the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. The evidence and the intelligence that has been declassified and released is irrefutable. I'm gonna let Caroline speak to Secretary Rubio.
I'll speak to both questions. First, on Secretary Rubio, he put out a statement in 2020 following that Senate Intelligence Committee report, and he said how they found his trouble, and we found irrefutable evidence of Russian meddling, which the Director of National Intelligence just confirmed for you that Russia was trying to sow distrust and chaos. But what's the outrage in this that Secretary Rubio did not say at the time, the Democrats were saying at the time, is the fact that the intelligence community was concocting this narrative that the president colluded with the Russians, that the president's son totally secret meetings with the Russians, all of these lies that were never true. And he also said at that time he discovered deeply troubling actions taken by the FBI under Comey, particularly their acceptance and willingness to rely on the Steele dossier without verifying its methodology or sourcing. The Steele dossier that many outlets in this room ran as the gospel truth, and it was cooked up and paid for by the Clinton campaign. As for your second question, Caitlin, I think who is saying that she would release this to try to boost her standing with the president? Who has said that?
Undermined her when it came to Iran. He said she was wrong. He told me that she didn't know what she was talking about.
The only people who are suggesting that the Director of National Intelligence would release evidence to try to boost her standing with the president are the people in this room who constantly try to sow distrust and chaos amongst the president's cabinet, and it is not working. I will just answer your question directly. I am with the President of the United States every day. He has the utmost confidence in Director Gabbard. He always has. He continues to, and that is true of his entire cabinet, who is all working as one team to deliver on the promises this president made. Does anyone else have questions for Director Gabbard? And then we'll turn it over to a couple other questions. Christian, go ahead.
Thank you, Director Gabbard. Two follow-ups on questions that have been asked. You mentioned the TNIs during the president's first term. One of them refers to you right now, John Ratcliffe. So you not spoken to him about why this information was not declassified during the first term?
He was in that position for a very short period of time. The work that he did back then, we have picked up and absolutely completed. We are continuing to investigate this. Additional whistleblowers are now coming forward because they see an opportunity for the truth to come to light. And as Caroline said, real accountability to be brought forward. The accountability is the essential part of this. We can show the truth, reveal the truth. The accountability is to start to restore that trust and in the integrity of our
They're charging to DOJ, but the statute of limitations on conspiracy is 5 years. So what is
How they clear competition, find out what's talking.
That's a great
How they get
question,
what's
General.
I'm standing around like.
Providing all of the evidence, all of the intelligence that we have.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thank you, sticker. Thank you, sticker. May sticker ka?
Di natin butang na.
All I have seen is what
Na ba?
the intelligence committee
Dili na lang sa
through their investigation. I think that the underlying point there
Gani, hindi
is that
kinikita.
we understand from intelligence what Russia said that they had. And the important point here is that if they were trying to influence the election, as President Obama and James Clapper and John Brennan, everybody said they were doing in order to support the election, they would
Ay, hindi na
release
makuha
the most damning of that information, some of which I detailed here. You'll find the rest in the report prior to the election.
Ay, tanggalin natin sa box. Ano?
They specifically
Tanggalin natin sa plastic. Kasi ano na yun siya. May ano kasi yung plastic niya, may, alam mo yun, pwede yung scan ng pressure.
just prior to her inauguration, to give
Baka
some
nila na baliw. Para ba? Diri ah!
Half mo konti dito.
I haven't seen this information that reflects that. If
Ang
anything,
bilis nila ah.
that changes that in any way, support the president's statement loud and clear. If any credible evidence comes forward and wants to evaluate, we'll see it.
Director Gabbard,
Nakuhaan ko po.
Parang something wrong. Wala siya napasok ng maayos. Hindi ba dapat nakapasok ko? Ayun. Oh. Dapat pala, hindi. Ganun kasi kapalagay. Kasi ito na.
Hello, si.
Miss Fanny. Hindi mo na, wag mo na tanggalin. Huwag mo tanggalin. I-set mo lang tapos ano mo lang. Ganun mo lang.
Nancy P.
I remember when this happened, like,
Ubo siya ng ubo.
like 5.
Ano bang nangyari? Ano na ang nangyari?
And this is something that is imperative to the country.
Ano ka?
It's proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that Barack Obama used and weaponized
Unay maibalik ang plastic, hindi na.
to create false Russian hopes about Donald Trump. But also proves something else. It's fascinating. It also
Pag naito ka ba, Lu?
Hindi na ano ba?
like a slab of it.
Ang bang tatay na gadako siya kung gadako ako tsura niya. Bako tingala ka kung akong ibang tao tsura niya eh.
Wala na ito yung sura. Bigla yung mga tao.
Hindi ako nanay na ba eh. Alangan ako sa kodap yan ang tsura.
No news station has Fox my life.
Ano,
She hot.
Yeah, he was a,
Ano yung bata?
Oh yeah, sorry. That's,
Sinaad na ko gamit mo.
they don't make any money.
there was just like, yeah,
Para understand.
what the hell's going on here? And they were like,
You can see that
it's filmed.
you can hear.
Ano na yan?
Dalawang 25 minutes. 25 pala na lang. Tapos 25
Say there's some bullets flying.
Was it balik ko?
Trouble with this was that I got
Wala ko ang sarap. Kahit kasi ano. Pasang depende kanina. Hindi naman.
Gani, luka ano siya. Na,
Nagpasok ko
I want to see that.
Uod mo ka ba?
Somebody's like, "Hey, my God."
Ang balan mo na siya eh. Ano siya? Hindi na nga. Namuya ka man, di
May
ba?
dress code ba?
Do you know what, there's,
Kita mo na rin parang Mayo, di ba?
Bill Clinton was president, she was in there. Well,
Last na.
you know, nobody was allowed to look, like, anybody could look at Bill Clinton, talk to him. Even when he
Wala ko
was-
kung may magnet.
Nobody
Hindi
would
ko
think,
magnet.
she said nobody's allowed to look at him.
Hindi.
So if, even the Secret Service technicals were not allowed to look at her in the face.
May ano ka pa to, may nga
The guy that's
kubra, ano na?
under cocktail.
Okay.
Yeah.
May di, hatag ng kiwi sa akon.
So, ano lang yan? Kasi,
Right from Flynn, the old chief of the military, and he was like, well, I think the chief, like, she's coming to me with advice.
Hindi ko ko baklon na, di ba? Kung itid ako.
This is great.
Ang ending, siya nagkuha. Ano na baklon? Gusto tapos kita ang dress nga, di ba? Ano ako nga to? Sa kwan? Maan. Do ano ka bla? Kita ko ng ferry, bla. Hindi ko isok-sok sa airport, pati lamig.
kung may ano, may parang
His wife was the most Reagan in the last days. His wife helping him, you know, but.
Dupili mo na sa lagi ng madto.
Hindi nga. Ano ba itsura nun?
You know, sign
Send ba ka sa iba? Basta ito nami siya, nami siya. Sexy. Hindi na, may ano siya, hindi na kita.
Ikaw kasi, maski ano mo suot yung bagay sa'yo.
Doon sa club na sa pang ano. Ano. Ikaw, sinaabot gani ako ng pagkabuang ko. Nasuksok ko na sa mga... Bakit na?
Kahit, di ba, kung may edad rin ko, daw, maano rin ko magsuot ng mga bagay kasi, di ba?
Lulain ng mga ano, magidman, galain. Gusto mo na.
Maski ako man lang.
Ang gaidad ko.
Hindi rin gusto ko mga fit-fit ko mga di ba?
Ako hindi ko gusto. Gusto ko mga loose na mga pants. Hindi ko gusto na...
Yung parang ano ba, airport attire. Di ba, maano siya?
That Russia was helping Trump target.
Doon ko baklo nang yun na pwede ko lang masuksok adlaw-adlaw. Panglakat, so, paano kung kailang mo daw. Sige lang eh, bakal ta kaahon sa SM. Isuksok ko tong anong dress. Madto dyan sa bakal kaahon.
Did he do it on purpose? Yeah, that's the whole point.
Baklan ko siya puro ka ribbon-ribbon. Di nga clip sa likod. Sa anong laso sa mga red.
I think they're definitely, I think he's definitely getting testosterone.
Serious?
Something else.
Mga ano yun
Secrecy.
Why did he-
natawaran sa lupa, no?
I'm sure the same, it doesn't always work.
Personal problems, including
Nagkawin sa ako,
uncontrolled
kaya
aggression
wala kay...
and sheer faith.
The Hunter Biden, 300 feet, first one done in 2 years. I just, it's hard to watch. I don't want to watch it. But he says,
This is the direct.
well, yeah, he's older, yeah, he's losing a step, of course, he's 81. He's like, but he's like, he's still fit and everything. He's like, so he was, he drove right before the debate.
Paano kami?
Still, still knows what he's doing.
Yeah, this is- it's fine. This time when Hillary Clinton had like a seizure on the thing, right? Nobody decided to ask any questions. The subservient stenographers in the press decided to like,
Accidentally.
Hello. Sabi nito, ano, ginaano ka na.
Salamin. Ano ba? Salamin na kadulaw. Hello guys. Ako guys.
It made it sound like she was laughing.
Ikaw, gitna na. Kakita na.
I know we have an emotive show.
Wasn't by what she
I
said.
think one of the things that's very frustrating, a lot of this stuff, really matters to me, you know.
Balikan ko ba niya ulit sa ito, alas 8.
Spending time watching my until our voices cracked up in champagne bottles, jumping around. But, everything like that. This looks like a medical seizure. And some, like, somebody was just.
Hi, so ano?
Hi guys.
Why don't we film, like, they're filming, so why can't we see her face? Why was that hidden?
Here's a good one.
All this time.
Here's Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
This is from the campaign. This is right after the campaign. Hillary Clinton decided to flee the country. And Hillary Clinton, fell effectively down the stairs. Worse than anything we've ever seen Joe Biden do. Hillary Clinton, just straight up, loses muscle in the van, loses her balance. Good.
Sabihin ng ano siya.
Again,
Siya. Ay, wait.
later in the video, is incapable, is incapable of regaining her balance. And so, again, she's doing stairs. Look at that.
That is weird.
This is one clip on one clip on Facebook. This is
Kagabi, ano?
and woefully degenerate, diseased, old bat. Guess this is one of my favorites. This one's from the DNC convention. This, of course, is from
Hello, are you ready to watch
Hillary
movie?
Clinton's reaction to balloons, which has been memed into infinity.
Diyan na tayo mga lunch.
Hillary Clinton's reaction to the release of the
Yeah.
Really, can you
What the hell is going on there? It's not how normal people react. That's how people who are on drugs react. You're on drugs. You're on drugs. As of September 2016, the Russian Foreign Intelligence Service had Democrat National Committee information that President Obama and Cruz found the state of Secretary of State extraordinarily alarming, and it will have a serious negative impact on the election prospects. This was
Tapon na ba to?
secrecy.
Tapon ko na to?
This one's crazy. Listen to Hillary Clinton try and get through just a quick 60-second speech. She can't get through just the most basic of boilerplate campaign speeches without physically collapsing. I mean, this is as bad, if not worse, than what happened to Joe Biden.
She's faking it.
Why would she just not eat it? She can't stop it.
That's Hillary Clinton pala. Ito is Pelosi. It's not Pelosi.
Hillary Clinton, that's your idol.
What?
No!
It is.
Idol your ass. Ang ano to? Ano ka? Sos ka na saan mo?
Kaya kung naman yung
Tapos na ano lang ko kami.
Teka lang ako.
Hindi naglinis ka mo na. Talagsa lang man na ganta pa. Kung magwantahan na agad, talagsa ng kalabi ka. Gusto ka mag-alagsa.
Boss, ako lang kayo. Late ako nagpunta.
So many people died.
That was a big one though.
Well, there's one person that was against her and Bill. Many committed suicide with 2 shotgun bolts to the back of the head. 2! How would you get 2? And then the gun was like way over the head. If you shot yourself and it didn't work, you get so much pain. And then the gun's way over the head. It wasn't like dropped. It was way over the head.
Ano, Luis?
Ano ba na ako mangkas ayun?
Hindi lang gabi na silo.
Ikaw ba?
Blasting and I go on video.
But then like, there's people are just laughing, like,
Ate nagsasabi.
Donald Trump said something straight up, like, they're like, they don't clap when it's not, they don't say anything.
Just to show you.
I just found out recently that there's people who pay for buying.
Grabe silo kung tagal. Tawag na sila na.
Yes, sir.
The seizures, the freakouts, the yelling, the screaming, the collapsing, the coughing, the barking like a dog.
Ay,
Remember
yun
this?
ang nasabi
This
na.
is
Iba
wild.
na ang
Hillary
ano.
Clinton, in the middle of a campaign rally, just decides to start barking like a dog. Like a total sociopath. Remember, and let me read this to you one more time before we play this clip. Clinton was suffering from intensified psycho-emotional problems, including uncontrolled fits of anger, aggression,
That was
and
on the
cheerfulness.
report.
And she was given a daily heavy tranquilizers. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton just barking like a dog. Like, what is wrong? What do you know, what's wrong? Like, why can't you just stay? Look at the people behind you. They all laugh. They're all like,
Yes, kami sa mga.
Both of you.
Kaya na,
Really, really,
yes, kami.
and it's not a press
Tulog eh?
conference.
Oo, sa mga klasa na nakapagod. Yes, kami.
Give them the money, get them the fuck out of here. Here's that $1,000 you're all paying.
Why are you laughing? This is horrifying. This is a horrifying thing to do. Something's really wrong with this person. She was physically unconscious at the September 11th ceremony, had to be thrown in the back of a van. Intensified psycho-emotional problems. I guess this makes sense. When you watch the seizures, you watch footage like this, you watch like the, look the weight of the what the hell was that? Now it makes sense. Incredible. Will they ever have to answer for it? Just one final, like, button hook here. This question, very interesting. Hunter Biden said it was bad, was drugged in order to kick him out of the Democrat primary process.
Yeah, that's 100%. Hunter Biden said they purposely drugged
This is
him.
what Hunter Biden
It was
said.
ambulance. So he
Now,
just
were
screwed
they
him.
give it to him?
His own team.
Were they intended to harm his campaign? I don't know. The intended effect. I'll play the complaint, but then I'll play the results of what happens when you're on Ambien. Because he's
Nakpak mo
right.
na makpaka yung
He's wrong. And I can't believe I'm saying this.
Di ba wala pa akong
Yes.
punta, pero
Yes.
nung ginakaptan ko sa lahat. Takaan mo rin.
He flew around the world basically, and the mileage he could flew around the world 3 times. He's 81 years old. He's tired as shit. We give him Ambien to go to sleep. He gets on the stage and he looks out and
He like basically flew in.
He was a weak practice.
But also, he's on Air Force One. Like, there's a bed.
Like 2 million does. Like us isn't.
There's an elevator in the plane.
Do you agree with this? The side effects of Ambien.
Not like that. Yeah, doctors, nurses,
So much would happen.
Total sa
Something
tao.
happened a year ago, it just did. It's like ancient history. This is worth remembering. Side effects of
It's not
Ambien
waiting
are you have
You're not waiting in the pocket, also waiting.
Ano eh?
you're driving to the turn of aggression and unconsciousness. You have a hard time memorizing names. You have a hard time memorizing or inability to talk or walk. Dizziness, headache, diarrhea, memory loss, drowsiness, hallucinations, deep, fast breathing, nausea, anxiety, difficulty swallowing, okay, here.
Huwag bayi naman na.
Joe Biden, tell me, you knew there was a problem. Listen to this.
Saglit ang pagkukuha. Ang admin, wala ka friend. Dapat ako sa amin online. Facebook. Nakita ako sa Facebook. Deliver na siya.
Trump so far.
It's sort of the impact of the choice, the idea that I'm not saying so
But he's the most political president of all time. Everybody wanted him.
And it's not.
Can I just say something that I know the chat is saying right now? Which is,
So you cut onions?
Yeah.
the,
I'm crying over
Kasi
here.
biglang ano ka?
and
Ano lang pinaka... Sila rin ay yes.
Always known to call this company.
Why are you crying?
shows probably match human respect. Would you have had that? Wasn't modified. Trump's reactions were great, but they were understated and subtle.
Pero yung
They were reactions
yung
like this,
videos,
where Donald Trump's just doing the same
Why are you
thing
trying to give it
that
drunk?
we're all doing at home.
just asking.
Restraint is not,
Sabi na dyan, videos ka sa net.
is spoken for. Look at this.
How about Ale?
Donald Trump, being the master that he is, I think immediately figured out that something was horribly wrong with Joe Biden. We now know from his son, who is in every step of the way, that Joe Biden was drugged here.
You want Jack Taylor?
And President Trump said
Sabi na sa bata,
that
hindi lang.
eventually they were dealing with a deeply incapacitated
Sa
father.
amin ka doon, basta.
And instead of doing what he's done in multiple other ways, he decided to use restraint to hold on and to then show the American public this letter, speak for itself, the famous photo from that. Oh, yeah, we did it. That's right. So now we have multiple Democrat health cover-ups. We know that Joe Biden was doing also with terminal prostate cancer, stage 5, metastasizing to the bones, which is a death sentence. And so, what the hell is right? And it was really actually Hillary Clinton for her side of that slap throw in fan. We didn't know that we'd go here with Mayor. Sure it's out there. And so I guess it's with the mayor for he was actually set Hillary up so that everyone finding van unconscious. Let's go. That's correct. And out, the other shows Hillary had fallen in the locker van. Day and night. Mr. Mayor, you were there that day.
Balikin mo na kasi ano ko.
Really? And she was funny for the last 2 years of the campaign. I did 2 years. Which I've been at every year before.
Abay,
I know
huwag
that,
ka
and
lo.
I know how difficult it is to stand for that period of time still. Now she just would complain like hell about it, because I could hear. You can hear her in the background first thing I
Wala,
heard.
di mo dyan.
And they would say, you gotta stay.
Landing ba?
Gotta stay. It's not gonna look good. So
Buwasan na
and-
gibe,
and
reklamo.
in that period of time, we were knowing.
Amaro na isa.
We're going
Ano
to
yun?
do. People who follow
Jeremy's
her
gonna be
around.
crying.
She's looking rocky.
Grabe ba?
One of the
Ano ka
times
din yung
where
kodot?
they thought she was gonna fall, and she got so close to the. She got so
Grabe
close
ka,
to the
sakit
people
yung
on the
ano
stage
nyo.
that it looked like she lost a little of her equilibrium. Now, we never know if these are true or not, but we're not testing. And I said, boss, how's your problem? And he said, well, I'll come, but I have to leave early. I said, just do me a favor.
Ako ay takot-kita ko na nagbibitan na natago na gurong.
Leave for like tonight. Just hang on. So if 2 hours went by and she looked fine.
Kita mo man na kita bay, magsubrahan na
I
blakad
said,
lawaw.
give us 15 more minutes. And I got my fingers crossed. And my head of security, John Lane, was standing right where that, the same angle you had here. And he took a picture of it. And he ran up to me and he said, tell the boss not to leave. And it wasn't John Lane.
Baka naman kung panturog ni Luis, mabuwang sa ko ba?
And I said, boss, she just fell
Nak.
down going down the
Di, ang kulang ko tawagin na, yung gamay tawag.
van. And we
Pero
had
na, si Platan ko mga bayok bata, mga nami.
She's not going to. He said, why was she well enough?
Siya nagtudok na ako, kundi ang bawag isikin. Pili ko tayo bayo ni Peanut. Kaso, nag-grab na gulat. Sa babang, basi close nanda pag adto mo naman.
It's also weird that like all these like aides of like Trump, everything said like, oh, he's so fun to work with, oh, he's a great guy. I hear like
Yani,
Hillary Clinton, not one ex-aide said that
Gusto
people
guro na.
that they're going to work with, that they are working to help the humanity of our land and work turnover. It's always like, that's horrible people.
grabe ba? Mas alligator, Alcatraz.
She's got fired. Yeah.
My goodness. Why are you crying?
With the help of some very wise, very brilliant
My goodness.
is that it's reflecting us in the right direction. Massive fans. So many from service. Matt Tayabra is one of them. And the other suspect here.
Ano si Luba?
And he has a remarkable article that was published on July 19th. And this is sort of just a massive breakdown of the aftermath of what Tulsi Gabbard released. Tulsi Gabbard released brand new material today. We're going to get factors soon. To understand the importance of that material, we have to do a little bit of homework. And we're going to do that homework right now. I'm going to show you right off the top of the a bombshell, evidentiary, demonstrable conclusion that not only was the Russia hoax created entirely by Barack Obama, it was created with one
All these people will never do an interview that's not controlled. Like Rob Thomas never in his career.
The dates are very important. Let's read on the NFL.
But if you went on Joe Rogan or anything,
That was Chinese 16.
Now, this is there's a story of everything.
TikTok, it's step by step. Our Barack Obama treason. Now, it's very important to put it in those terms because now we're American history.
Like you said, like, he like, even though I
One,
don't agree with what he says, but he
Go coherent.
off for 2 hours.
of the orbits of the United States.
Coherent.
Department of Intelligence agencies. This was a military from the get. It cannot be understated or overstated how severe this all is. On December 7th, 2016, Pearl Harbor Day, yes, you could say. We're going to talk about the attack on America. There's another Pearl Harbor Day. It was James Clapper, who was the director of Pearl Harbor, preparing the text for the President's Daily Brief. This is called Activity on and Senate Elections. Give a look at the text. Read it. This is the declassified text of the President's Daily Brief that was already ready to go. It was ready to be sent in to drop it off. And to someone else. So we get a load of this. We assessed that foreign officers did not use cyber attacks on election infrastructure and U.S. presidential election outcomes here. We had no evidence of cyber manipulation of election infrastructure intended to alter elections. That last part is very important because the motive is a valuable thing in intelligence. What is the motive? Is the motive here to help Trump? Is it to hurt Trump? Is it just to sow, just to be a menace? Which is something that Russia has done to all of us. Just see that, if you go back,
Puro labador.
arm wrestling Satan.
That's plan is
And
done.
like, these were the stuff that Russia was creating in 2016 is
Ate ko man balik siya na nag-ingat basta ako ba.
Russian state operators.
Tapos may atay.
Ang bilis lang yung ano.
Is comically hysterical in its goofiness, and it's just
Pinira
it's
yung
the menace
labador.
level. That's all it was. Okay, it was not.
Ayun lang pagkain.
That's what Russia was doing. Okay, and they've done that in every
Ay,
election.
hindi mo tayong ano,
And
pinag
they're just
Oo, tapos siya ulit ko na dun sa ano.
Buti nga naluto. Ang kapal kaya nito.
Sa plastic na puti garages ah.
Ah, real yan.
Chicken paso. Tapos may yes, may
they might actually lose big with Trump. That Hillary Clinton would be a
ano,
much better
limano kapatid.
Pwede nga ba yung ano?
diplomat and to calculate leader. And what actually what he's going to do should just be a continuation of policies that have been quite good for Russia.
May time din, may time.
Manitay nito ni nang sa may
Sa kamay ano.
It's good example. Here's an example of Russia.
May ano harap sa shin nakalagay. Ito.
Satan, if I win president, Jesus. Don't get me wrong. Okay, whatever you think of this. This is not Alright, so they have
Oging tubo na naman pala.
and they have declassified the president daily brief. This is so critical. The classified president daily brief says Russia didn't do anything. Nobody hacked the election. And the election was true, honorable, and righteous,
Kanin ka.
legal, and
Hindi ka kape, di ba? Wala ba? Okay lang yan, sabaw lang. Nandiyan, kanin na yan. Magsapulo tayo dyan sa may mga sabaw. Tapos, ang kanin yan. Ayan.
This was polled. And we got this from very high sources. This was
Amoy.
Ayan
na.
You understand?
Atok na, baby. Ano, laro tayo? Laro tayo, laro. Laro. Ayan na. Laro, ayan na. Tumapakaga, oh.
Donald Trump was
My sweet baby. Busy siya.
Kabadura na to.
This was going to be
Busy siya eh.
Si Dudong. Diyan na ako sa dapat sa budong.
Russia collusion hoax was dead on arrival, and they were about to hand it to Donald Trump with the print and stamp it
Dudong,
on
si Budang.
The entire government of the Senate agencies, FBI, CIA, assets.
Hindi ko magana.
this was what we saw, and it would be dead after this. This was the end.
Whatever nascent variation of West Asian happened last time is virtually adult. Everybody had to still watch it. People had to still watch it in their newsroom. They didn't want the FBI, they didn't want the CIA, they didn't want their alternate insurance. The Hillary Clinton paid for Russian disinformation. But then the public read it couldn't be verified. You can't see what's happening right now. You could publish this. Even back then, it was seen so insensitive.
Oo, kaya.
So absurd that no white person, not even people on his feed, Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, they all had to still up. None of them
Live stream siya.
none of them
Kasi may conversation sa dito.
we know this because we have the original four documents. You go back to the pages of the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, Washington Post, and CNN, and you can find documents. You can see what we broadcast on TV. And our show, our producers have
Ano na naman ito kung hindi mo?
of this.
Wala pa ganun sa ituro.
Itanong ko lang ito sa meron.
Pwede, oo.
Talong rin na
This date, December 7th.
Oo.
Nothing about what happened.
Bawang kita pa sa una.
Zip, zero.
Pwede na yan, baka. Ito ka na hugasan.
And trouble about to get. The
Siyempre, pagkawan mo.
final word
Ano ba naman sa ano?
from this presidency, Trump was about it. Not Obama. Trump was about to get. Okay? Obama gets it as well. They both get praise. There you go. So the total exoneration was about this cost us. Now that happens next. Now the next day.
Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Prepared that Russian and criminal actors did not impact recent U.S. election results by conducting malicious cyber activities against election infrastructure. President Trump and General Clinton are singing at this point. Trump consents to host being pronounced against him. They're singing, they're whistling Nixon. This is exactly the truth. And it's December 8th. This living is scheduled to enter the president's daily brief. Not a public report, but a
Tapos ka na mag-slice, di ba?
Obama.
Tara mo na ito.
This bill.
After the video ko power ng video.
Critical.
Oo, sabaw eh. Hit pa.
Supports what? The woman was scheduled to enter the daily
Hindi ko na
brief.
inikan ng biyak.
Mysteriously,
Sabay mo yung chicken chips.
Like I said, yeah.
The FBI
Gusto ko man.
I didn't know.
This is what's there to go.
Everybody's
Right
busy now.
after they had said, you know,
The FBI
changed from there to later.
Masalitin ka. Masok tayo.
Doon sa toaster. Mababaw. Yan, dyan may papa ko na yan. Di ba nung tutakan ka, no? Or hindi, ano ko lang, pero. Oo, lagay mo lang. Yan, lagay ko lang, eh.
Oo, dyan.
Sige, baka na.
Yeah, I down the download. Nothing in there. Oh, no.
What do you want?
There is here.
Dito by ice.
You see the.
No,
This is the next day.
Hindi ako ngayon.
Yes,
acting on Russian election Netherlands, asking them to produce an assessment for the president.
It's not time, you know.
For at least a
It's a host.
Life is good if your baby is this like this. Not struggling.
Moscow used the actions of the influence the 2016 election. Explanation of why Moscow
Kumaan ka lang ha.
and how Moscow vote
Tapusin ko lang yung ano. Tapos makain. Tapusin ko lang yung pink. Kain na tayo.
said to proceed a briefing there could be no reference to Russian interference. Zero.
Sabi silang pawan ako doon ng bunto.
Tingnan mo ba? Ang si Mano, sa araw. Nawika pa lang rabi.
Sabi, still ako.
In the darkness of
It's focus, you know.
dust lights of the afternoon of December 8th. Contact me out of we're not doing it. For no reason, it's provided zero information. Then clappers off. And then you would walk off. And then suddenly there's a massive tune change. It's like, no, we must find Russian. Oh, what's very strange about this, and what is something that provides here in that way. He says,
Kaya ko nga sabi ko,
is that
ano
the
ko
real?
is baby yan.
That's apples to oranges.
Kasi di ba yung ano nila na yan, minsan, hindi nila ipasa
And you
makalipas
know, maybe it's just two different senses or two different variations from that. Zero.
Ano, wag nila na kaya.
There was nothing there. And create apples. Bring forth the orchard, says
The
Lala.
only thing I would do is they kept it from Obama that
This edition
because
So this is
everything
logic
that
from,
every
this is logic from, it's
is that
ready.
he micromanaged everything. He told you to do something, and he was like, he followed you, okay, what you do, how you do it, like, and he told them, they go, wow, here, like, he's like, you get there, you watch the
Wait,
footage,
pwede natin
and he's
kayo.
like, nobody was able to do something. He told me to do it, then you watch it, so, and you criticize everything he did, that's what he's done the whole job. He still said, oh, you did wrong, you shouldn't have done it.
Ay, wow. Yan na.
Madami na pagsubok.
You don't get a chance to see it play out. You don't get a chance to see the story develop. You don't get a chance to see the character develop. Trump is amazing for Russia. Why would Russia want to help him and a great advisor? Stupid. It's fair. Trump. Trump's here. That's spoiled.
All Russia says is don't put missiles on our border. That's all we ask. Originally did that because they put up the Finland as their border. They don't talk about it. The only reason that is so people
Everybody is busy.
Russian hackers acted to aid Trump. You know what? U.S. says, look at that. New York Times. First, Abe Trump U.S. says, December 2016. Here we go.
U.S. says, when Obama's president. So who said it? U.S. or Obama? And who is the president?
There was a community this is based on any conclusion that we actually come to is that in fact, decided that this is an area.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy.
Still. Senior administration says the moment that Barack Obama decides that this is going to be the narrative, that's going to be the hope, the dates are there right now. They launched the New York Times. The New York Times, this is, by the way, the same date that they had the meeting in the White House to all of these. Stop being such a fag. You're in the back seat.
Steven Spielberg, all his movies, E.T. has done for their, so.
Almost everybody's
He changed all his movies, got rid of his own. If you watch the TV, the kind of scene is done. The military all done. Yeah, so woke, so this is pretty vibrant.
Video game.
His movies when it comes to military. He went back to his old movies and got rid of them. The girls keep coming. It's just for sex. It's just for masturbation. Stay there. I don't want to hear it.
Ano yung ganyan?
May kanubel ng kapwa. Kaya na kasi kabulwan lang ako. Kasi nakibig. Nakakas mo, doorbell. Ako ba? May nagsaksak ako. Kamay na lang. Kamay na lang kapwa. Kaya naman.
So like a happy guy, Frankie? That one. Yeah. Always smiling, judging, watching, with the baby. I'll be the first to say congratulations. The one who's trying for the rest of your life. Plus one.
Shane.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together to join Franklin and Marissa. This is it, Frank. I don't know. But I'm not.
Hello, everybody.
Thanks. Got a wife, kids. Do I sound like a happy guy, Frankie? Always smiling, judging, watching, with the baby, with the baby. I'm going to be the first to say congratulations to you. You're going to die for the rest of your life. Plus one, good work. Only single.
But every one of them is the best. It's so cool every time. Down the back.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here together to join Franklin and Marissa.
Yeah. You're cold. God. I can't believe it's you. Oh. Oh. What? What are you doing? The last time that I heard, it was, what do you call it? Sunshine on Denver. Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
Okay.
Yeah, I just, the thing about that one is, it's not just that. It's a combination of things. We had the dog, we had a great place, but, all. Mm-hmm.
You know what? I should have some of this
What's this?
coffee. Ow! Ow! Oh my gosh. Oh, that's crazy.
Sorry.
No, really.
I can fix it. If you
No,
just give me a
yes.
second.
Stop it right there. Stop it right there. I got it. Done. Like that. Honey, why don't you get some more?
No, excuse me. Like I said, I'm really glad and proud to be here tonight. I'm glad to see Frank's dad made it out. That's awesome. I haven't seen him in like 8 years. That's great. Congratulations. True love is hard to find. Sometimes you think you have true love, and then you catch the early flight home from San Diego, and a couple of new people jump out of your bathroom blindfolded like a goddamn magic show, ready to double team your girlfriend.
Stop, right there. It continues right here, because I think what my friend Mitch is trying to say is that true love is blind. Let's raise our glasses, whatever we got in front of us. Salute, health and happiness. Cheers, everybody. I love you so much, Frank. I love you. I'm not talking. I'm not talking. I love you. That's it. I thought you said near campus. It's not to be on campus. It's 6. No, it's pretty easy actually. Professor lived here for like 30 years now. Yeah, that's awesome. Awesome. Come on. New beginning. Actually, I gave this to you for your wedding. This month? No, this exact one. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed. Sorry. Okay. I love it. Thank you. This place is unbelievable. You like it? I don't know how you can still be depressed. This is probably the best thing.
Kill a cat.
Yeah.
Us?
Yeah, too much blood.
Do not get selfish on it. Okay, now say, you put a bar on it, right? Couple lazy boys, throw it out. You definitely need a smarter enough. Not that awesome. Max, can you hear about that? You're gonna get so much. I'm talking like crazy, like 40. sounds like a lot of fun, but I need a little time to get my life back. What we need to do is sort of a big kick-off, like kick-ass party, start things off, break it up, meet the neighbors, right? Come on, man. Really, speaking of it, got our hands in the realize there's a big opportunity. Those love guys in this particular situation. It's young and young. Like an injured young fawn, the nurse back in help. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. I'm sorry, you okay? Don't say sorry to be safe with the baby. I'm sorry. It's okay. It's okay. So I think we should probably go tropical with this thing. Like sand from wall to wall. I know a great sand that will get at the price. Sand in here? Or foam, whatever, something in here. You understand the kind of thing I'm talking about. Absolutely, sir. I'm good either way. He's ran by person.
I'm messing with you guys.
Not funny. Not funny. Not funny.
It just shoots weird. It's going. This happens at every party in America. Every time.
But we got you.
Why are you slowing down?
That's her husband. Yeah. That's her husband and wife. Everybody's doing it.
No, no, no. I don't think so. Listen, about last night, I just got out of a very serious traumatic relationship. Kind of in a weird place right now. Mitch, no, you're right. I'm okay. How do we do this? Well, what do you think, honestly? True respect. Great. Really? I went a little bit, got crazy. I still have yeah, come on in. Fire hazard.
Last time naman na stages, the next day, nalugan ako.
Hello, Mitch.
After na
You got cheese, right? My name is Cheese. Golden fish. Oh, yeah.
Nakasay kami lahat.
I got out. Good. That was a good time.
Kasi hindi ko siya bumalik sa trabaho.
Working what? Campus patrol? Try again. Was it Jehovah's Witness? The key. Lead preacher. As of this morning, this house has been rezoned. Yeah, it is now exclusively for campus use only. You can't just do that. I've already paid the first one my son's rent. That. Premises, thank you for your cooperation. Absolutely not. Good to see you guys. It looks like you're doing great.
This is in the law.
This is a safe place. You can feel free. Think of my office. Tree of trust. You can say. And well, I guess, studying a very entirely different guy. I mean, think yesterday, for example, we were out in the all park. It was lovely. I had to look over at a certain point during the meal. And I found myself wondering what color her underwear. For pants. Oh, darn, that front face is quite tight. But I started thinking, maybe there's still. Maybe it's the phone. Maybe it's something really cool that I don't even know about it, you know. And I started feeling what? Well, I felt real frustrated in the house, you know. for the rest of my life.
So while I'll be your San Diego trip with
Oh, yeah. 2 years. I actually, yeah.
Say hello. Hello. Hello,
I got
internet.
nothing to admit. You tell me that the Sunshine Square proposal is totally fucked. Well, for one thing, it violates the zoning restrictions set forth in the National Historical Preservation Act of 1966, most notably clause 4. Shall I continue?
Well, actually, I'm familiar with that.
Honey.
Come on in. That was just my daughter, huh?
Hi, nice to meet you, Mitch.
Hi.
I know it makes me sound like an old man.
She's a junior in Cleveland, junior in college, too.
To think that it just set you on to
What? She's in high school.
Hey, man. You have a good day?
Oh, I just thought maybe I'd crash here. That's all right. Marissa's going through some personal stuff. Personal stuff like you run into the neighborhood, drunk and naked. That. And some other stuff. Oh, fine. Hope you're something wrong. Thanks. Gentlemen, we're discussing a brand new way to look at it. In other words, you need to forget about all the normal rules that apply to both college and society. Because this is a very big idea, my friends. We are talking about a non-exclusive, egalitarian brotherhood where community status, and more importantly, age, have no bearing whatsoever. Yeah, God, you probably know what they're
I go to school here, and
Okay.
well, I was just curious, what sort of association will you have with the actual university?
Well, technically speaking, it will be a loose affiliation, but you will give nothing back to the academic community, as well as provide no public service of any kind. This much I promise. What the hell is going on? Guys, this is a very special occasion. The Godfather himself has been kind enough to grace us with his presence. The Godfather. This is his damn house, he lives there, he sleeps 20 feet away. We need to talk. Kitchen. Talk about this for a second here?
How long have these people been in my house?
Been there all day. Are you not last night? There's all kinds of street food. Talking about fish. This is called a rush. You're officially starting. It's genius. Look, you heard Richard, all right? We're obligated to do this. Now, this house, he says, is done specifically for social services and student housing. Attorney saw both of those, right?
But this is my house. I've lived here, Dean. I'm 30 years old. None of us are enrolled in the college. Makes no sense.
You ain't focusing on old for the yeah. Look, did you leave? Did you not have to? I had an awesome time. Like, I know that you had an awesome time. Okay? I think the entire town knows that you had an awesome time. I'm trying to ask Mitch whether or not he had an awesome time.
Yeah, I had a good time.
Okay, that's good. Now, wouldn't you want those good times to keep going?
The boombox.
I don't know why it's so hard for you to listen to your watches. You got 40 guys out there that want to.
Back then, the bigger the better. I appreciate your enthusiasm. I know you guys are trying to help, but the truth of the matter is, I've had a hell of a day, and even worse month. And the fact is, I got 40 strangers out in my living room. So I'm sorry, but we're not starting a fraternity.
I don't know why you gotta do it. I'm trying to get. What I gotta say, earmuffs. You can say, fuck, shit, fish, whatever you want. God, balls. Okay, I'm just putting the points on the celebrate, right? I'll take so. You let down Frank, you let down me, you let down Max. And right about now, I'm having a real hard time trying to figure out why to take time out of my schedule, just to try to help you get over earmuffs. That 4 that you take, don't not see the other guys, I'm going to start. So yes. Yes.
Alright, here's the deal. Altogether, we commit 14 pledges. Wait, who's this guy?
Absolutely. The old Navy never hangs around my store about it. But don't worry about it, he's a jerk.
He looks like he's 100 years old and wants to pledge.
The old man never won't shut up about it.
Go, guys. Anyone about this, I'll fucking kill you. I'm kidding. That's like... I'm leaving. That's where I'm looking.
Congratulations. Long good time. Each and every one of you has been handpicked to represent our inaugural pledge class. So over the next 21 days,
Buddy?
you're all going to experience
He's away. You're so cute. You're so cute. You're so cute.
Copy that. Don't go over that.
At this point, you may be asking yourself, why am I holding a 30-pound picture block in my hand? You might also ask yourself, why is this scissor block 3 minutes? Have a long piece of string. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Do it.
And like, very
Finally,
just like that.
Where's Mama? Why still the end of this string? I can surely for your peace.
And the answer, ladies, drop.
Hey, okay, we'll get into the
This
next section.
is your first step.
See you next one.
Spanish!
Tomorrow.
Keep
I'll see you at tomorrow. 2 p.m.
of your
Bye.
take down the lawn! Sir, yes, sir. Blue! Do you trust me? I don't want to see you down here tonight! Sir, yes, sir. Blue, you're my boy!
Hey, hello. Jose. Hello, Jose.
About that.
Good night, everyone. It's 9 p.m.
Step
already.
to the edge! Like this! Prepare to release! 1, 2, 3, release!
What? I didn't
Patricia, get security yourself while we have an illegal off-road vehicle operating without a permit. Call them again. How would you guys use the permit?
They're not trying to be so. They're just going to prove temporary status, right? Half these guys don't even go to the school. See the one guy, he's like 9. Technically, that doesn't matter. They found a loophole.
Loophole.
So it's interesting. So as soon as they appear, they're actually very good at paperwork.
quite phenomenal.
I'm sorry, that's why I have to stand a comment. Don't you do that? Be leaving. Be leaving.
There he is.
Come on, brother.
Making some happy.
Hey, Mitch. Hang on, so I see no guest.
Here's you guys are starting up the tournament.
Who told you that? I like
Nobody.
no guest.
Is it true?
Yeah, always.
Right. That sounds cool, man. I want to.
Listen, there is no time. I don't even know if you'll be in your home. You listen to me. Tom, kids, every day is exactly the same. Oh, it goes off on Sunday. Don't black on me, please. Keep working. Everyone needs work. Whatever it is I do at home. Trust me. I'm not missing anything. Really?
Heard you hooked up with one of your dog.
It's untrue. I don't even know that. Hey, Mitch, all I'm saying is think about it, okay? Think about it.
So what, who cares if you work with the guy?
I do. I mean, I have a career to worry about, you know?
Kevin, you really need to start embracing this whole thing here. You know, I think it's frustrating, I don't think you appreciate everything I've done for you.
Well, for me.
Not for you. So you think I like avoiding my wife and kids and hang out with 19-year-old girls all day?
He said, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, yeah.
Yeah, I do.
How's it going? Sis. Hey, Amanda, you remember Nicole, right?
Yeah. You said a little, chicken breast at the wedding. How you been?
I actually want to
Happy birthday!